On day 1, I spawned into the mountains as a diamond skeleton. Whoa, even with 10 hearts, I've got to be the most valuable bag of bones in the overworld. I wonder what kind of powers I have. But I didn't have any time to think about any potentially cool powers. A big, strong earth elemental rose out of the ground right in front of me.
You are the skeleton that has defiled this land!
Wait, what? That's impossible. I just got here.
Your feeble excuses have no power here, you bony fiend! You should come with me before I'm forced to do anything drastic!
No offense, buddy, but I feel like you don't have my best intentions at heart, so I'm getting out of here immediately. And I made good on my promise, turning and running as fast as I could. There was only one problem. Diamond skeletons can't actually run very fast. Okay, so I know super speed isn't one of my powers. Pretty soon, the earth elemental had caught up to me, and I had to stop. I was feeling totally out of breath.
Wow, that was incredibly embarrassing, you sad little skelly. Come with me before you humiliate yourself even more.
Sure, okay, just give me a second to catch my breath. On day 2, the earth elemental ushered me back to a fortress high in the mountains, which looked like it'd be impossible to take over.
This is the Sanctum of Sanctity!
That'd be hard to say 3 times fast.
Silent skeleton! You will stand before our ruler tomorrow and be given a fair trial for your crimes.
What'll happen if I lose the trial?
Oh, that's simple. You'll be executed.
What? He didn't answer any more of my questions. Instead, he led me into the Sanctum of Sanctity and threw me into some kind of prison cell. Please, let me out! What about my human rights?
You're a skeleton! Skeletons don't have human rights!
And with that, he left and locked the door behind him. I was alone, or so I thought. There was actually a gold pig in the cell with me.
Oink oink. Hey there, bud. Name's Gary. Gary the Gold Pig. What are you in for?
Hey Gary, I'm Zozo. These guys trapped me in here for no reason. Have you been falsely imprisoned too?
Well, not exactly. I was stealing, but I wasn't hurting anyone while I was doing it.
That's better than nothing, I guess. These guys are huge jerks. We need to get out of here before we're tried and executed.
Easier said than done, my friend. These walls are impenetrable, especially when you don't have any tools.
Our conversation was interrupted when the earth elemental who'd trapped me in here came back, opened the door, and stepped inside.
Will you two be quiet? I can hardly think, let alone stand guard, while listening to your inane babbling. How about instead, you…
Without even thinking, I punched him, and that one punch completely destroyed him.
Wow, that was amazing, Zozo. You're like some kind of one-punch man.
I guess that's my first power, diamond hard punches. Let's get out of here before anyone else can find us. And that's exactly what we did. We escaped the Sanctum of Sanctity and ran off in different directions. On day 3, I continued walking through the mountains. It was an exhausting process. I may have had those powerful diamond punches, but I still had absolutely sucky walking speed. All this walking is making me hungry. I wonder if I can find any food around here. I searched until I found an apple tree, which I knocked down some apples with another powerful diamond punch. Phew, these punches really take it out of me too. I should probably only use them in emergencies, just to be safe. I picked up the wooden blocks and the apples, eating them to replenish my hunger bar. I then continued my journey. Wait, what's that rattling sound? It almost sounds like bones. That's when I turned and saw a huge imposing figure. It was a mutant skeleton, and he was even bigger than I'd imagined. Oh my gosh, you're huge!
It's nice of you to say, stranger. My name is Odokuro. It means rattling skull. What is your name?
My name is Zozo. It means, it means Zozo.
Interesting. It's rare to see a skeleton brave enough to wander around here. And I've never seen one quite as shiny as you either. You must be skilled and powerful.
Not as skilled and powerful as I'd like to be, sadly.
That, my dear Zozo, I can help with. Follow me back to my dojo.
Alrighty, Odokuro, lead the way. I followed Odokuro across the mountains, relieved to finally have a friend who could seemingly hold his own in a fight. From day 4 to day 5, we arrived at Odokuro's dojo out in the bone-dry Mojave Desert. What exactly does dojo mean, Odokuro? Is it like some kind of base?
It's where I teach people to fight. You see, I am the greatest warrior in all of the overworld, and it is my privilege to teach others to fight as well as me, so they can fight for what they believe in.
That sounds incredible, Odokuro!
Please, Zozo, call me sensei. It means teacher. And the first part of learning to fend for yourself is learning to put a roof over your head. Take this stone pickaxe and this stone sword. Make yourself a home in the desert. The harsh environment will make you hardy and strong.
Yes, Sensei! My sensei Otokuro gave me the stone sword and pickaxe, and I went off on my own, traveling until I found a nice spot in the Mojave to build my base. I mined up some stone and some sand that I could use to start building myself a cool little base. It wasn't much yet, but it seemed like a cool way to begin my training. As I stopped building to look back and admire my work, another earth elemental snuck up on me and started to attack.
I knew you were an evil skeleton! You destroyed one of my fellow elementals! And now, I'll destroy you!
But I was ready to fight back. With my stone sword, I was able to beat the earth elemental, gaining enough XP in the process to level up and get stronger. I was bigger, a little faster, and now had 20 hearts instead of just 10. And what's this new power I feel coursing through my fists? Without even thinking, I turned and walked into a tree, blowing it up. Whoa, I guess my new wall demolition ability can knock down walls and apparently trees as well. That's awesome. Darn, I need to replant this tree now. From day 6 to day 8, I walked around the desert, looking for new things to punch and test out my awesome strength. If this is how strong I am at the start of Sensei Otokuro's training, imagine how awesome I'll be as he trains me even more. During my wandering, I happened upon a familiar face too. It was Gary, the light-fingered gold pig I'd met inside the Sanctum of Sanctity. Hey, Gary, how's it going?
Zozo, don't sneak up on me like that. I'm on edge enough as it is after what I've been through.
Oh no, what's wrong, Gary? Are you okay?
I was attacked by this crazy mutant Enderman. If I didn't run as fast as I could, he would have destroyed me. You've got to be careful, Zozo. There are some real dangerous people out there.
I know exactly what you mean. That's why I'm training with Sensei Otokuro, so I can get strong enough to fight off bad guys like that.
Sensei Otokuro? Why does that name sound so familiar? Oh well, maybe I'll remember it later when I'm less stressed.
And with that, Gary went on his way. Unsettled by the knowledge of how many dangerous creatures are out there, I returned to my sensei's base, ready for his next lesson. Climbing up the hanging ladders, I found him at the top of the dojo in his living quarters.
You've done well against the Earth Elementals, Zozo, but to improve, you must face stronger opponents. There is a mutated bee out in the mangrove swamp, a formidable foe for someone of your strength. Go forth and destroy him, and see your powers grow.
From day 9 to day 10, I followed Sensei Otokuro's instructions and went out to the mangrove swamp, seeking to meet with and battle this mutated bee. He sounds like a tough customer, but I believe I'm ready to take him on. It didn't take me long to find him. His bright yellow and black stood out against the colors of the swamp.
Buzz off, kid. I don't want to fight anyone. I left my fighting days behind me long ago. I hurt too many people. That's not who I am anymore.
If you were a villain once, you're a villain now, mutated bee. Sensei Otokuro demands that I fight you.
Otokuro? I haven't heard that name in years. Well, kid, if you want to fight, I'll give you the fight of your life.
The mutated bee fought me, and he was every bit as tough as Sensei Otokuro had said. I did manage to defeat him in the end, but by then, I barely had any hearts left. I can't rush my training. If I do, I think I'm really gonna get hurt. On my way out of the swamp, I ran into none other than Gary the gold pig.
Oh, hey, Zozo. You're not looking so hot, buddy. Maybe take this health potion. I stole it from some guy.
I drank the health potion Gary gave me and breathed a sigh of relief as my health replenished itself. Thanks, Gary, you're a lifesaver. Sensei Otokuro will be pleased to see that I'm doing okay.
There's that name again. Gosh, where did I hear it? Guess I'll let you know if it comes back to me.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to the dojo of Sensei Otokuro, eager to tell him about how well I'd done in the battle with the mutated bee.
Your power grows, Zozo, but you still have much to learn. That being said, I see the potential for true strength in you, but a true warrior feels no fear. Go first into the darkness to make fear your ally. Then return to the mangrove swamp, find the lethal swamp pig clan, and destroy every last one of them.
Destroy a whole clan? Isn't that a little harsh, Sensei?
Never, ever question my teaching, Zozo. Perform the task. Your sensei wills it.
Feeling doubtful, but knowing that my sensei must know best, I found the darkest darkness I could find, a mining cave. I explored the dark, worrying about what could lurk behind every corner. However, while down there in the dark, I discovered something awesome, a dusty old chest containing a few pieces of iron armor, an iron sword, and an iron pickaxe. The sensei really is always right. I equipped the sword and the armor pieces, then left the cave. But just as I was about to exit, I was stopped in my tracks by another Earth elemental.
You won't escape this time, you skeleton fiend!
I'm really getting tired of you guys. The fight didn't last long. With my new power and new iron sword, I defeated him in no time. From day 13 to day 15, following Sensei Otokuro's instructions, I went back to the mangrove swamp and searched through until I found a small settlement full of pigs. This must be the Swamp Pig clan. They don't look like a gang of lethal warriors, they just look like peaceful little pigs. What's going on? I decided to investigate further, venturing into the settlement and approaching the largest of the swamp pigs. Excuse me, sir, but are you the head of the legendary Swamp Pig warrior clan? That just made him laugh.
Warrior clan? We're a clan of peaceful farmers, living off the fat of the land. We don't know the first thing about fighting. I have no idea where you got that from.
Then No, this isn't right. I'm sorry for bothering you, Mr. Swamp Pig. Confused and worried, all I could do was leave the settlement as quickly as I could, making a beeline back to the Mojave Desert. Sensei Otokuro has some explaining to do. From day 16 to day 19, I returned to Sensei Otokuro's base and told him everything that had happened. He was furious with me.
You dare go against my orders after I explicitly told you not to question me?
But Sensei, they weren't warriors.
I am no longer your sensei. Be gone from the dojo, Zozo. I cannot teach someone who doesn't respect and honor my judgment.
I was devastated, but I had no choice but to leave. I guess that I just wasn't cut out to be an awesome warrior in the end. I might have just been doomed to be a sad, slow diamond skeleton forever. When I got back to my base, Gary was waiting for me.
Zozo! Zozo! I remember where I heard that name before. Sensei Otokuro.
He's not even my sensei anymore, Gary. There's no point.
But it was the mutant Enderman. When he attacked me, he said, Sensei Otokuro will be so pleased. He must have been on his orders.
Wait, Otokuro has other students, and they're out there attacking people? Oh no, I need to go back to the mangrove swamp. I ran back to the Swamp Pig clan settlement as quickly as I could, but it was already too late. Otokuro was there, and he'd already destroyed all of them. You monster!
It's better to be a monster than a weakling, Zozo. My best students understand this. You are but a naive little fool.
What? It's foolish to not want to attack innocents?
There are no innocents, Zozo. Only practice. I'll give you one chance to decide. Are you with me or against me?
I could never be with you or any of your horrible students. I pulled out my iron sword and ran towards him to attack, but he knocked me out cold in a single strike. From day 20 to day 22, I woke up, dazed and aching, in the ruins of the Swamp Pig settlement. Otokuro hadn't left a single survivor. That monster! I feel so terrible for ever helping him. I can't believe all his students have been terrorizing the overworld, and I was almost one of them. As I was making my way through the swamps, I saw Gary the gold pig emerging from the distance and trotting towards me.
Zozo! Thank goodness you're alive. I had no idea you were up against such terrifying enemies. The world is even scarier than I thought.
But it doesn't have to be, Gary. Come back to my base with me. I'll build you a room, and we'll start working on a battle plan to take down these evildoers once and for all.
You know what? You have a point, Zozo. I've spent my whole life stealing from people. Now, I want to do something right. Let's go, buddy.
I went back to my base in the Mojave Desert with Gary and built a new building for him to live in. It felt good to finally be allied with someone whose worst crime was stealing potions and not destroying whole clans of innocents for fun. From day 23 to day 26, I decided to investigate the mountain some more and see if I could track down any of Sensei Otokuro's other sadistic students. If they were out here destroying settlements in the overworld, then they needed to be stopped at once. While I was exploring, it didn't take me long to overhear a cry for help from a passing mushroom summoner.
Please, spare me, kind skeleton! There's a mutant zombie right behind me! Destroy it, I beseech you!
I don't know what a beseech is, but you'd better get behind me! Sure enough, there was a vile, brainless mutant zombie coming after the poor summoner. I leapt in to defend the innocent mushroom summoner with a swing of my sword, but the shuffling undead was far stronger than I'd ever expected. The mutant zombie was tough, and he got a few powerful hits on me. I swung back with my diamond skeleton punches, and while it took a few more than usual, I had soon knocked his health right down. You can come back out now.
Oh, thank you. Please help yourself to this. It's the latest of my horticultural findings. A fungus imbued with magical properties.
Thanks. I ate the mushroom and could suddenly feel myself getting stronger. I now had 50 whole hearts. I could shoot energy blasts from my hands. Wow, now this'll be fun, guy. From day 27 to day 31, I roamed the mountains some more. The encounter with the mutant zombie was playing on my mind. Where had that horrid undead creature come from? Was it connected to my nefarious former sensei in some way? I got distracted by a flock of sheep that looked like they'd lost their shepherd, or that perhaps something bad had happened to them. Hey there, little guys. It's not safe for you all to be up here on the mountainside. You'd better come back to my base where you'll be safe. If we come across your owner, I'm sure he'll be glad I got you guys to safety. So I headed back to my base and got to work settling up a pen for the sheep. Once I was done, Gary was excited to show me something.
Come check it out, Zozo. I built us a brand new storage room. Now we've got somewhere to keep all our loot. Oops, old habits. All the equipment we can use to bring the fight to Sensei Otakuro.
Speaking of Otakuro, within his dojo in the Mojave Desert, my former teacher was conferring with one of his deadliest students.
Sensei, I have followed your teachings and laid waste to another settlement. Their souls are now forever cursed to have fallen at my hand. That will make them perfect candidates to join the ranks of your undead army. Good work, apprentice. You've been more loyal than that cowardly skeleton, and I have a new task for you. Bring me the diamond skull of Zozo!
From day 32 to day 35, I decided to backtrack to the fortress high in the mountains. I had realized that those earth elementals who had captured me might have only done so because they thought I was working for Sensei Otakuro. After all, one had called me evil when he saw I was carrying out Otakuro's commands, but I figured I would need allies. Me and my gold pig pal weren't going to be able to take him down alone.
Look over there! It's the diamond skeleton working with Otakuro! Get him!
Whoa, hold on guys, I'm not here to fight. It was too late. An earth elemental was coming straight towards me. We clashed swords. I had to hold off from using my diamond hard punches and energy blasts. I needed to convince them that I meant no harm. Listen to me, I'm not following Otakuro's teachings anymore. He's a barbaric, irredeemable monster.
What took you so long to realize?
Don't be mean, I was tricked.
Then you should talk with our boss.
The earth elementals brought me before their leader, a wise old illusioner.
You have renounced Otakuro's vile ways. Good. Then perhaps you'll be the one to put a stop to his reign of terror.
I'll take him down. He's hurting innocent people, and he's got to be stopped.
I must convene with my earth elementals. I can provide you with the means to stop Otakuro, but first, we must decide if you are trustworthy. Now go!
From day 36 to day 39, I didn't want to waste any time waiting on the illusionist's decision. I needed to get stronger in the meantime. I decided it was time to upgrade my armor, so I went searching the mines for the remaining pieces to complete the set. And boy oh boy, I didn't just find what I was looking for, but struck a motherload of diamonds too! It was almost like being a diamond skeleton, up to draw me to where they were hidden underground. I could sense them without even realizing it. After I had gathered up the diamonds, ready to craft some neat stuff with them later, Gary excitedly called me back to base.
Check it out, Zozo. Look what I stole. Acquired while you were gone.
It was a special gong of weakening. After striking it, it weakens all enemies around me for 7 seconds. But before I had a chance to try it out, an armored mountaineer approached my base.
You're Zozo, right? I'm a messenger. I've been sent by the illusioner. He's ready to speak with you now and request your presence back at the Earth Elemental Fortress.
From day 40 to day 43, I made the long trek back to where I'd last met the illusioner. But as I approached the fortress, I immediately noticed something was wrong.
The diamond skeleton was here. Tell me what you told him, or suffer in the name of Sensei Otakuro.
It was the mutant Enderman. It must have been one of Otakuro's other students. He was turning the place upside down, battling with the earth elementals as they desperately tried to defend the fortress against his attacks. But his training, he'd clearly been following Sensei Otakuro's brutal teachings, and they were no match for the mutant Enderman. I ran over to the illusioner as quickly as I could. Illusioner, quick! We need to do something!
Zozo, no! Drawing you out is what Otakuro wants. My elementals will die before they give away your location. But we must flee before Otakuro's student realizes you're here.
From day 44 to day 49, I hurriedly escorted the illusioner back to the safety of my base. He seemed upset about the attack on his fortress, but I didn't really know what to say to comfort him. Once we'd made it back, he sat me down to reveal his decision.
I have opted to trust you with this, Zozo. I believe your remorse for serving Odokuro to be genuine. I know all too well how deceptive he can be, which is why I will impart to you this knowledge. There is a way we can stop him, but it requires a weapon known only as the Destroyer, and to rebuild it will be no easy task. I can guide you through the first steps, but to complete it requires secrets I do not possess.
Well, where can I find the rest of the steps to build the destroyer?
Patience. For now, here's how to get started.
I followed the illusioner's instructions written on the blueprint to the letter, making sure I had done everything I could right now to make a start on the destroyer. It was kinda nice having him help me along, almost like having a new sensei who wasn't as evil as Sensei Odokuro. Once I'd done all I could, that was when the illusioner told me about an ancient book of secrets that contained instructions for finishing the destroyer. It was lost somewhere in the mangrove swamp, so I began to make my way over there as fast as my slow skeleton legs would carry me. From day 50 to day 53, I searched high and low in the stinky mangrove swamp for anywhere that might be housing the Book of Secrets. I was expecting to find an old temple or an abandoned cave, but there was nothing of the sort anywhere around. Eventually, I had to change up my approach. I didn't know where to look, but one of the locals might. I struck up a conversation with the first person I met, a royal guard.
Book of Secrets? Sorry, geezer, no clue. Nobody's seen it in a dog's age. Been lost in the swamp.
Great, that's super helpful. I don't suppose anyone knows what's written in it or how to rebuild the destroyer to stop Sensei Odokuro?
Odokuro? Blimey, mate, he's a tough customer. You know he once commanded an army of mutant undead?
He did? That's horrible.
Yeah, it was. Odokuro believed in being the strongest bloke around, and he trained himself up a nasty gang of blighters. But he never wanted them to be tougher than he was, so he kept some stuff to himself. Then if any of his pupils ever croaked, he'd use necromancy to bring them back and make them fight for him as undead zombies. But eventually, he crossed the wrong fella. Some real brainbox who built a device that would destroy Odokuro. That's why it's called the Destroyer, see?
Wow, I never would have guessed that.
Well, Odokuro got wind of what was being made to defy him and tried to wreck him. But it blew up in his face and took out a lot of his undead army. Rumor has it, he's been trying to build his forces back up ever since.
I still had no clue where the Book of Secrets was hidden. I didn't know the mangrove swamp well enough to find it. And without the book, I couldn't complete the destroyer just yet. So instead, I headed back to base. From day 54 to day 57, I was making my way back to my base, taking a longer detour through the mountains, just in case any more of Sensei Odokuro's students were causing trouble nearby. Little did I realize, one of them was much closer than I'd anticipated. Suddenly, the mutant Enderman burst out of the shadows and attacked me, wielding all the fury and fear of Odokuro's twisted teachings.
There you are, the one who ran away! At last, I shall defeat you and bring that diamond skull of yours to my sensei as a trophy!
I had no choice but to fight back, but I couldn't land even a single energy blast on the evil Enderman. He would just teleport out of the way, and each blast would miss. Then he started using his special abilities, like picking up blocks, throwing them at me, and cloning himself. I couldn't risk being captured and brought back to Sensei Odokuro, or worse. So, I had to dash. I luckily made my escape. Meanwhile, within his lair, Sensei Odokuro was summoning the latest addition to his undead army.
By my hand, I command these ancient bones to rise, return to the land of the living, and follow my teachings, mighty skeleton vanguard!
From day 58 to day 62, battered and exhausted, I was relieved to finally make it back to the safety of my base. After a brief nap to regain my strength, Gary, my gold pig pal, was eager to show off his latest, definitely not stolen, project.
Hey, Zozo! Check it out, a brand new furnace for us. Now we can really turn up the heat on old Okuro. Get it?
Yeah, I got it, Gary. Great job. The base was looking great now, but I was concerned after facing the mutant Enderman and barely making it away alive. We needed somewhere well defended, so I gathered up lots of sandstone to build a bunker out of it, although it was tricky because the sand kept falling on my head. I eventually gathered enough and started building the bunker. Speaking of defense, I thought it was about time I defended myself a little better too. My old iron armor had done the trick until now, but it was useless against Sensei Odokuro's stronger students. So I headed into the mines and let my diamond skeleton senses guide me to more diamonds. I had plenty in my inventory now, enough to craft a new diamond sword and a matching pickaxe, plus a full set of diamond armor. Since Odokuro was after my skull, I thought protecting it was my best option. and there is nothing more stylish than a diamond skeleton in full diamond armor. From day 63 to day 66, I spoke with the illusioner about how I hadn't been able to find the Book of Secrets.
Most troubling news. I think I shall have to accompany you. I may know where we can look.
So I followed his lead, and we ended up at the edge of an area I'd never seen before, the Nether Wastes. What the heck? I could have sworn this place wasn't here before.
It has always been here, but not all have the means to see. These wastes are shrouded by a complex illusion.
But you can lift it, right?
I can, but it will take time. Casting illusions is my specialty. Removing them is much harder, especially when they have been cast by another.
So we can't get there?
I will attempt to break the illusion, and then we should be able to access the Nether Wastes.
Well, okay. In the meantime, I guess I'll just wait.
Patience, Zozo. I will need you at my side to defend me while I break the illusion. Nether Wastes may not be the only thing being hidden.
From day 67 to day 70, the illusioner was hard at work, lifting the illusion that was stopping us from getting to the Nether Wastes. But something seemed to be bothering him while he was working.
Zozo, I think there is something wrong. I sense a foul presence afoot in the mountains. One of Odakuro's undead, but far more powerful than his zombies.
You stay here. I'll go and take care of whatever it is. I made my way towards the mountains, and it didn't take long for me to come across what the problem was. It was the Skeleton Vanguard. After losing my last tangle with one of Sensei Odakuro's minions, I wasn't feeling confident I could best this creature. But perhaps there was a way I could reason with it.
Old bones, old bones.
Say, I know you're a little confused right now. I guess that must happen when you're brought back from the dead. But the one who brought you back, he just wants to use you. Believe me, he did it to me too. But us skeletons need to stick together.
New bones, new bones.
The Skeleton Vanguard lunged at me, disoriented. I had to hold back my punches and energy blasts. There was still a chance I could convince him to abandon Odakuro. If only I could get him to hold still. Wait, maybe he will respond to the gong. I struck it as hard as I could, and the Skeleton Vanguard was stunned, and it gave me a chance to talk to him. Listen, I don't want to hurt you. Odakuro might have brought you back, but to him, you're just an undead soldier. I promise if you help me, we can take that monster down and set you free. Then your old bones can rest.
Old bones, old bones.
Slowly, the Skeleton Vanguard seemed to calm down. I had done it! He was now on our side! From day 71 to day 74, I was heading back to the base with the Skeleton Vanguard, only to see something terrible as I approached. The mutant Enderman had found my hideout and was ransacking it. I hadn't even been able to finish the defensive bunker, and now Odakuro's star student of slaughter was destroying huge portions of my home. I tried to use my Gong of Weakening to stop him, but instead, he attacked me and stole it.
Thanks for the gong, loser.
I retreated and hid in a part of the base that was still intact, and before long, the mutant Enderman seemed to get bored and leave. I was feeling awful, worried that I'd never be able to beat the mean mutant Enderman. If I couldn't stop one of his weaker students, then I had no chance of stopping Sensei Odakuro.
Zozo, buddy, you still in there? You can come out now.
Gary told me that he and the Skeleton Vanguard had been busy rebuilding the base while I'd been feeling sad. They had made an effort to refortify the place against any future attacks, and they'd done it to try and cheer me up. I had to admit, it made me feel a little better. A little did I know, Sensei Odakuro was almost finished working on his undead army.
I have almost amassed my forces once more, and once my prized pupil discovers the location of the Diamond Skeleton's hideout, soon we will march. My zombies and I will subjugate the overworld!
From day 75 to day 78, the illusioner returned to the base. He approached me to talk about how clearing the illusion had gone.
Whoever cast that illusion over the Nether Waste was certainly remarkably powerful.
You think it could have been Odakuro?
No, he only seeks the power to destroy, not to conceal. Perhaps the original architect of the Destroyer was responsible. He might have cast the illusion to keep his Book of Secrets hidden.
Were you able to clear it?
Mostly, but you should be able to reach the Nether Waste and find the book.
First things first though, I want my Gong of Weakening back. I set off to hunt down the mutant Enderman. I wasn't going to let him get away with my stuff, and if I could take him down, then I could prove to myself that I was strong enough to stop Odakuro too. From day 79 to day 84, I spotted the mutant Enderman in the Mojave Desert and immediately launched an energy blast. With his back to me, he didn't see it coming and couldn't teleport out of the way. Caught off guard, I landed a hit, but it only angered him.
You won't make me look weak in front of my sensei!
He leapt at me, and we fought. Without my Gong of Weakening, it was hard to gain an advantage over the Enderman. Just when I thought I was about to land a strike with my sword, or a powerful diamond punch, he'd zip out of the way, and I'd miss. Suddenly, he threw blocks back at me and knocked me far back with a powerful attack. Then, a sudden surge of power overtook me. I got way bigger than before, and even had 100 hearts. Catching both myself and the mutant Enderman by surprise, I suddenly fired a new special laser attack. The beam struck him right in the center, and he couldn't get out of the way quick enough. With a few more hits to finish him off, Sensei Otokuro's right-hand Enderman was defeated! I grabbed my Gong of Weakening, glad to finally have it back, and the mutant Enderman had also dropped something, a special key. Better hang on to this, it might come in handy later. From day 85 to day 89, I made my triumphant way back to base. To my surprise, Gary had gone out of his way to finish up working on the defensive bunker.
Thought we could get the last of it done. Now we'll be safe if there's any more trouble.
Well, the mutant Enderman won't be coming back here anytime soon.
That's great news, Zozo.
Now that I had my Gong of Weakening back, I decided to also head back to the Nether Wastes. Sure enough, the illusion blocking the area was now gone, and I searched for the Book of Secrets. Sure enough, there it was, waiting for me at an altar. But so were a horde of mutant creepers. Using my weapons, I was able to defeat the diabolical monsters, and then I was free to grab the Book of Secrets. Now I had the last thing I needed to complete the Destroyer and put a stop to Sensei Otokuro's schemes. From day 90 to day 94, using the Book of Secrets, I started making the reinforced handles and the warped fungus which gives the Iron Destroyer that extra power. When holding it in hand, I felt its power flowing through me. At long last, I'm strong enough to take on my old sensei and right the wrongs I helped him create. But on my way out of the Nether Wastes, I saw my oldest enemy standing right in front of me. It was my former sensei, Otokuro.
Hello there, former student. It's been too long since we've seen one another, skull to skull.
That's because your other students have been trying to take my skull.
You shouldn't take such a thing personally, Zozo. There are bumps on the road for every journey of training. They're there to test our strength. I've seen the way you fight, how you've bested all my other students. You have impressed me, Zozo. Why not resume your teaching with me? You can reach levels of strength you've never even imagined.
I'll never be your student, ever again, and I don't need anything you could teach me. I'm powerful enough to beat you already.
I wouldn't be so sure.
Before I could move, Otokuro fired a plasma blast at me, and that blast paralyzed me. I was frozen in place, and while I was unable to move, Otokuro approached and stole the Destroyer from me.
Foolish decision, Zozo. I'll let you live this time, just so you can languish in your shame. But next time I see you, rest assured, I will destroy you completely.
And with that, he ran back into the depths of the Nether. From day 95 to day 97, I was at first alone in the Nether Wastes. I had to summon up all my willpower to overcome the paralyzing spell. As soon as I left the Nether Wastes for the mountains. I needed to team up with the Illusioner and his elementals as quickly as I could. However, when I arrived, the fortress was in ruins, and the elementals were all gone. Without the Destroyer out there, Otokuro felt comfortable unleashing his full power. There was no one who could stop him. The only survivor was the Illusioner, and even he was on the edge of his demise.
Zozo, it's too late for me. Don't waste your time. Get the Destroyer back, and finally surpass your old sensei for the good of the overworld.
The Illusioner was gone. Feeling terrible, I set off towards my base. On day 98, I arrived back at my base, only to find it decimated, just like the fortress in the mountains. Only Gary the Gold Pig was still alive.
Zozo, that monster! He came here and destroyed everything. He even destroyed the skeleton vanguard. Maybe a thief, but that bony buddy stole my heart. We can't let him get away with this.
We can't stop him, Gary. He has the Destroyer, and the Destroyer is the only weapon that can destroy him. Hence the name!
Zozo, take it from the expert. You can get it back from him. You just need to go to his dojo and steal it.
Wow, you're right, Gary. All these different people I've learned from all this time, and I didn't even think to learn from you. On day 99, I arrived at my old sensei's dojo, but I couldn't exactly walk in. If I was going to steal that destroyer, I needed to use the element of surprise. I quietly searched around the dojo until on the second floor, I found a pedestal with a keyhole in the middle. Wait, my special key! This must be what it unlocks! I turned the key, and in the middle of the dojo, a secret floor dropped down into the basement, but it was locked. I snuck in. Odokuro had no idea I was in there. Now I just need to get the destroyer back. I turned and saw Odokuro standing right there, but with his back turned to me. This was my chance. I snuck up behind him, and using techniques I'd learned from Gary, I stole back the destroyer. Odokuro turned to me with shock.
Zozo, what have you done?
I've leveled the playing field, Sensei! On day 100, I was facing off against the Sensei, ready for the final battle.
You were always such a disappointment, Zozo. Your skills showed such great promise, but you could never follow orders. How can you expect to learn from me now?
There's nothing I want to learn from you. I'm no longer the student, Odokuro. Now, I'm the master. I knew that the longer I fought him, the more chance he'd have to turn the tables. He shot his plasma blasts, but they no longer had the same effect as before. I knew I needed to end this quickly, once and for all. I summoned all my power into one final strike with the destroyer. I ran towards him, putting every ounce of my power into the strike. Boom! Odokuro exploded into bones. The evil had finally been defeated, and the student truly had become the master. On day 1, I spawned into the prairie as an awesome Venom dragon! Whoa, that must be what happens when an alien symbiote fuses with a dragon! I wonder what awesome powers this will give me! But I didn't have much time to think about what awesome powers being a symbiote-infused dragon would get me, because I suddenly saw a small group of heavily armored royal guards running towards me! Uh-oh, those guys look a little sinister! I should get out of here! I turned and ran as far from the royal guards as I could, but I was only a baby Venom dragon with 10 hearts, so I didn't have that much energy. Still, I was able to outrun the royal guards and stop to rest. Jeez, I just got here, and already I've got gangs of armored goons running after me. What's going on here?
Your capture is going on here, knave.
I turned and saw one of the royal guards standing right behind me. I haven't done anything wrong.
Trespassing and suspicious behavior. Our master, the Chief Evoker, demands that we take in any possible accomplices of the Accursed One.
Accursed One? I've never even heard of him.
Oh, forgive me for not believing that. Come with me right now, little Venom Dragon, or I'll be forced to call in reinforcements, and they're a lot less kind than me.
At my current tiny strength, I had no choice but to go with him. On day 2, the royal guard who'd captured me took me back to a base somewhere in the prairie. There was a small structure that seemed like a headquarters and a large walled courtyard protected by a secured door. What is this place? Is this where that Chief Evoker guy lives?
The Chief Evoker is in a different biome, trying to build alliances with other factions so we can ally against the Accursed One. We will keep you in our storage center until he returns.
I promise, I've never heard of the Accursed One. Can't you just take my word for it?
The Chief Evoker has a good sense for the content of people's souls. When he returns, he will judge your worthiness.
He didn't tell me anything after that. He just locked me inside the courtyard where I was trapped with a fungus thrower.
Hey, bub. Name's Bogey. What are you in for?
I'm Zozo, and honestly, I'm not even really sure why I'm here. I guess because I thought I had something to do with this guy they call the Accursed One. How about you?
I'm in here because I don't like authority. The Accursed One, the Chief Evoker, doesn't matter. I don't think anyone should tell anyone what to do for no good reason.
Can't say that I'm keen on them right now either. Before we do anything else, I need to get us out of this place.
I'm open to ideas, fella. I've been in here for 3 weeks. I think I'm starting to go insane.
Bogey's insanity aside, there was still hope here. I waited until nightfall, and then I put my plan into action. I have wings. Maybe, just maybe. I focused really hard until my wings started to carry me upwards. I flew up and out of the courtyard, and then landed next to the door outside. I opened it and freed Bogey.
You're a real one, Zozo. I hope we meet again someday.
We both ran off in different directions, relieved that the royal guards hadn't noticed our daring escape. On day 3, I took flight and sailed through the sky above the prairie. Everything below me looked so tiny. It was breathtaking. I felt like I could do it forever. but I couldn't, as I suddenly realized that my hunger bar was looking uncomfortably low. I needed to get back on the ground and quickly get some food. I landed and started searching for fruit or some animals. That's when I happened upon an apple tree and gathered apples. I tasted them and they poisoned me. I guess a dragon only eats meat. Apples, me no likey. I decided to stay on the ground and rest my wings for a bit when I heard huge, thundering footsteps somewhere in the distance. It was way too loud to be one of the royal guards from earlier. Who could that be? I should check it out. I quickly ran over until I saw a massive figure strolling across the prairie. A giant, tough, redstone golem. Whoa, he's so big. I bet nobody messes with him.
You're right about that, kid.
Oh, you could hear me?
I can hear a lot. Just because I'm big and tough, people assume I can't be smart and perceptive too. But I'm the whole package. My name's Red. How about you?
I'm Zozo, and a lot of people have been giving me trouble lately. Can you teach me how to be big and tough like you?
Sure thing, Zozo. So long as you pay me back. Follow me. I'm sure I can teach you a thing or two.
From day 4 to day 5, the redstone golem led me to his home biome, the Red Desert.
Fun fact, it's named after me, Red. I'm just that cool, you know?
Whoa, you're awesome, Red! I'm so happy you're my friend. He led me back to his base and gave me a stone sword and a stone pickaxe.
Take these and go make your own place. Red's a lone wolf. Well, a lone golem. You get the idea. First step of learning to stand up for yourself is learning to fend for yourself. Make yourself a base, and then we'll talk about making you big and tough, like me.
Sure thing, Red. I took the stone sword and stone pickaxe and flew across the Red Desert, where I started gathering materials to build myself a cool base of my own. It was quite a sight to look at. A beautiful clock tower home I made. It felt good to have something I could call my own. I'm the Venom Dragon, and with help from Red, I'm gonna become the coolest creature in the overworld. I may have yelled that I was the Venom Dragon a little too loudly though, as a small group of royal guards appeared and came running towards me. Oh no, it's time to fight! I pulled out my stone sword and ran in to battle the royal guards. It wasn't easy, but my pure willpower saw me through. I defeated the royal guard detachment and gained enough XP in the process to level up. I got bigger, stronger, went up to 30 hearts, and gained a new power, Venom Breath. Oh man, Red is gonna think this is so cool. I can't wait to show him. From day 6 to day 8, I continued to test out my powers, blowing flames onto trees and cactuses to test their strength. Feels good to finally have some power. Some fire power. Is that even a joke? Oh gosh, who knows? But during my fire practice, I happened to run into an old friend, Bogey the fungus thrower. Hey Bogey, how's it hanging?
Been better, been worse. Say, have you had any luck finding that accursed one? I've been on the lookout. I need to find a new authority to rebel against while the evoker is still out of town.
Does the accursed one count as an authority? I'm still not really sure what his whole deal is.
I've been asking around a lot lately. Turns out, he's been causing trouble around here for years. He's rolled through towns, and they've disappeared that same night. He rarely ever leaves survivors, so it's hard to know who he is and what he looks like.
Oh, that's worrying. I think I know exactly who to ask about this. I flew over to my good buddy Red and told him everything that Bogey had told me. He immediately knew what I was talking about and had a great idea.
Yeah, I've heard about this accursed one. He's a tough customer. Pretty cool, apparently, but obviously evil, too. I've heard that his true power comes from a bunch of dangerous magic users. One of them is the Wind Caller. He lives in the Red Oak Forest not far from here. You want my advice? Go take him out. The accursed one won't like that.
From day 9 to day 10, I flew straight to the Red Oak Forest, searching for the Wind Caller, the first magic user who helped prop up the power of the Accursed One. If I can defeat him, it'll bring me one step closer to defeating the Accursed One himself. When I spotted the Wind Caller, I immediately flew down towards him and landed a few feet away. He did not seem happy to see me, to say the least.
Get away from me, please! I don't want to fight. I don't want any trouble.
That excuse won't work on me, Wind Caller. I know the truth about the Accursed One. You're going down!
The Accursed One? You think you know the truth? You arrogant little dragon! I'll show you how little you really know!
He fired an energy blast at me, and the fight was on. The Wind Caller was a formidable opponent because of his magic use, but in the end, I was able to take him down thanks to a combination of Venom Breath and Sword Strikes. Sadly, I lost a lot of hearts in the process. Less sadly, Bogey appeared soon after and let me drink one of his healing potions to regenerate my lost health.
Bogey, I can't thank you enough. Why are you here? Were you just following me around?
Nah, man. I just been told the wind caller was the right man to speak to about finding the accursed one. But I guess you beat me to him.
He attacked me first. And besides, Red told me to.
You shouldn't let other people tell you what to do and think, Zozo. At least not without questioning why first.
Come on, Bogey, it's fine. Red has my best interests at heart, I think. From day 11 to day 12, I returned back to Red at his awesome base to tell him that I'd defeated the wind caller in the Red Oak Forest.
Good work, Zozo, good work. Bet you're feeling tougher already, right? Just like I told you, if you listen to your boy Red, everything will turn out all right.
It just felt a little weird though. It didn't seem like he wanted to fight. Isn't that a little strange? Especially if he used to work for that accursed one guy?
Don't be a dum-dum, Zozo. He just told you that to try to trick you. You can't trust everything that people say. People lie to get what they want literally all the time. Except me, of course. I'm old school.
Fair enough, Red. What do you want me to do next?
There are more magic users out there who want to help that big, probably handsome accursed one jerk. In the end, you can destroy that evoker. But first, you need to go back to the Red Oak Forest and take out the Geomancer. Upgrade your gear first, though. He's a tricky customer.
On Red's advice, I explored until I found a deep, dark cave and followed it until I discovered a rich vein of iron ore. This is exactly what I needed. I mined enough iron ore to make the equipment I needed, then created an underground furnace to smelt it all. Soon enough, I had an iron pickaxe, iron sword, and iron helmet. Just in case of a flying accident, my head is protected. Remember to always wear a helmet when riding. But on the way out of the cave, I found another royal guard blocking my path.
I found you! The evoker has returned to the base, and he requests an audience with you.
Oh, I'll see the evoker soon enough, but I won't be going with you. With a powerful burst of venom breath, the royal guard was gone. From day 13 to day 15, I returned to the Red Oak Forest, flying through the trees and keeping my eyes peeled for the Geomancer that Red wanted me to find. It took until nightfall to find him, where I discovered him by the light of his campfire. He was just standing next to it, trying to stay warm. Rather than attacking him straight away, I hesitated, remembering that the wind caller didn't want to fight me, or at least said that he didn't. Maybe I should at least try to talk to him first. That's the least I could do. So I descended onto the ground and approached the Geomancer. When he saw me, he didn't seem to be bothered. Hello, stranger. It's getting cold. Why don't you come over and warm yourself? I approached the fire and felt its warmth. The Geomancer didn't seem aggressive at all. I had no idea why Red wanted me to destroy him. Mind if I ask you a personal question?
I don't see any harm in it.
Do you have anything to do with the thing they called the Accursed One? There was a long pause before the Geomancer replied.
The Accursed One is one of my greatest mistakes. It was me, the Wind Caller, and the Evoker that created him. He was meant to be a weapon for good, but he developed a mind of his own. We have no control over him anymore. He's the monster we created.
Something about this whole conversation unsettled me. I didn't know what to believe anymore. I needed to talk to Red as soon as possible. I left the Geomancer to his own devices and flew away. From day 16 to day 19, I flew back to the Red Desert and returned to Red's base. But to my surprise, he wasn't there. Instead, I found a note left by Red, simply reading, "I'm going to do what you should have done. Don't contact me again. We're done, Zozo." It was a devastating note to see. But before I could even properly process this, a familiar person came walking up behind me. It was Bogey. Bogey, what are you doing here?
I was about to ask you the same thing. I'd come here to pick a fight with that Accursed One guy.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I asked around. Some big stone guy around here is that Accursed One you told me about. I figured I'd come down here and beat him up.
Big stone guy? That sounds like... Oh no, I need to get back to the Red Oak Forest. I took flight again and flew back to the camp at the Red Oak Forest as quickly as I could. But when I reached the camp, the fire was out, the Geomancer was gone, and only Red remained. Red, are you?
The Accursed One? Duh! I'm amazed it took you this long to figure it out. I wasn't even that subtle about it.
The Geomancer told me the truth.
Yeah. That's why I needed to destroy him and the Wind Caller. And after this, I'm gonna destroy the Evoker too. They made me, and once they're gone, no one will be able to unmake me.
That's where you're wrong. I'm going to unmake you right now. I ran in, ready to strike Red with all my might for the terrible things he'd done. And he punched me so hard, I was immediately knocked unconscious. From day 20 to day 22, I woke up, my head still aching from that powerful strike that Red gave me. Ugh, even with that helmet, getting punched in the face by a literal stone fist? That's no fun. The dead campfire next to me only reminded me of the Geomancer's horrible fate and the part I played in it. I didn't get to wallow in self-pity for long because Bogey the fungus thrower was emerging from the trees.
Get up, bub. We don't have any time to waste.
What do you mean?
Well, we've got to defeat that big rock guy, right? The accursed one or whatever. You're not just gonna let him walk all over everyone, are you?
You still want to help me, even though I used to work with that monster?
Let's not focus on the past. We're not going there. Instead, let's go back to your place and work on a plan to take on and destroy that doofus before he can hurt anyone else.
You know what? I think you have a point. I went back to my base with Bogey and mined enough wood to build him an entire house for himself. He deserves it with all the help he gave me so far, and this way we can be neighbors and work with each other. I showed Bogey the house, and he loved it. I'm gonna make Red realize he messed with the wrong Venom Dragon! From day 23 to day 26, I returned to the prairie where I spawned in to do some exploring. I heard the telltale sound of a creeper nearby and flew into the air to get a better look at the terrain. From up above, I saw where the creeper was. It was heading for a witch who was completely oblivious to the hostile mob. Witch, watch out! There's a creeper behind you! I flew down and landed in front of the creeper, burning it with my venom breath. To my surprise, it didn't explode and struck back with a close-range attack. I fought ferociously until the creeper was vanquished. You've creeped for the last time. After that, the witch came back and cast a power-up spell on me.
Here, Venom Dragon. This should enhance your strength and increase your health.
And that it did! I gained 50 hearts and some mighty shooting claw attacks! But I won't use them without just claws. Like just cause? Get it? From day 27 to day 31, I found some sheep in the prairie and decided to pay them a greeting. Hello there, sheep! The sheep's wool looked very overgrown. Perhaps they had been wandering for a while without a trim. I invited them back to my base so that I could help them shed their extra wool. It was the biggest sheep barn I have ever built. Never have the sheep had so much space under the roof. I want to keep their wool nice and dry. When I had placed the last piece of the barn, Bogey the fungus thrower showed up. He had some news of his own about the state of the base.
Great work herding those sheep, Zozo. While you were doing that, I built us a storage building. You're welcome.
Super! I've always wanted a place to store things. Now all I need is some things to store.
Let's gather some resources then. We'll have to be well stocked if we want to take on Red.
You got that right, Bogey. Elsewhere in the Red Desert, our nemesis, Red the Accursed One, was gathering resources of his own.
Go forth, my Dark Knight Rider. The Evoker must be eliminated, along with that pesky Venom Dragon and anyone else who tries to step on my coolness.
You can count on me, Red. I won't rest until all the uncool fools are cut down by my axe.
From day 32 to day 35, I made my way back to the headquarters of the Chief Evoker in order to warn him about Red. The guards at the gate were quick to attack me, thinking that I was a potential threat to their boss. I defended myself with some normal attacks, but avoided using my shooting claw attacks so I could hold back and not hurt them too badly.
You've gotten stronger, trespasser, but why are you not fighting us with all you've got?
Because you don't want to get hurt, and I don't want to hurt you. I bring news about the Accursed One, and I'm glad I made it here before the Red Golem did.
He knows the true identity of the Accursed One. We should let him through to speak with the Chief Evoker.
It seemed like my words had gotten through to the royal guards, so I followed them inside when they told me to enter the humble base to a room full of bookshelves. The Chief Evoker was standing right in front of me. He turned around and looked at my Venom Dragon form with much curiosity.
Your soul is conflicted. It holds the power of both great good and great evil within it. I'm not sure how to judge you just yet.
Forget about judging me. The Accursed One is coming to destroy you, so that nobody will know the secret of his creation.
I should have known it would come to this. Creating that golem was a mistake that cannot be fixed. The best I can do is hide out here and hope that the Accursed One doesn't find me.
You won't be able to hide forever. Not from that monster. He's too powerful.
The Accursed One may be strong, but he isn't unbeatable. If we can gather all three of those who made him.
We don't have that option anymore. You're the only one left.
Well, in that case, I'm going to stay put. You try to figure it out yourself.
Bogey was right. Trusting authority doesn't always work out. From day 36 to day 39, I went mining for the materials I would need to complete my iron armor. If the Chief Evoker is gonna hide from Destiny, I will face it with a full suit of armor. I didn't just unearth iron either. Once I found enough of the metal to build my armor pieces, I was able to find diamonds in the ground as well. Oh yeah, diamonds! These will come in handy later. I crafted the rest of the iron armor and equipped it. Now don't I look snazzy in this armor? Leave a like if you think so, and don't forget to subscribe. I went back above ground to my base in the Red Desert, where I met up with Bogey and told him what happened at the Evoker's base.
It looks like we're gonna have to take this matter into our own hands. We'll stop that accursed monster without the help of the Evoker.
Yes, that might be the only way to get it done. It's you and me, Bogey.
Here, Zozo, you can have my favorite machete. It'll help you the next time you're in a tough fight.
I equipped the machete and gave it a couple swings. It didn't deal any more damage than my sword, but it sure looked a lot cooler. Later on, I was patrolling the outside of the base when a camel came walking towards me across the sands.
You, Venom Dragon, come with me. Someone you know wants to speak with you.
Bogey says I don't have to follow orders, but maybe this time I should do what this camel says. From day 40 to day 43, I went to the location that the camel specified and found out that it was none other than the Chief Evoker waiting to meet with me. I thought you were hiding, Chief Evoker.
You thought right. I am hiding. Someone is coming after me. I need you to protect me.
Really? Your guards throw me in prison? You let your fellow mages die, and you won't do anything about the accursed one, but now I need to help you?
Only if you want to. Your soul has the potential to protect or destroy.
Okay. Where is this enemy that is following you anyway?
It's coming. Prepare yourself.
I looked across the prairie and saw someone on a horse.
There you are, Chief Evoker. I'm going to chop you up for being so uncool.
Who are you, buddy?
I'm the Dark Knight Rider, and it looks like I've got another target right here in front of me.
Not now you don't, because we're running away! And we did. From day 44 to day 49, I had run all the way back to my base, only to find that the Chief Evoker had arrived there before me. So it's not just hiding, but running you're also good at.
I am not your enemy, Zozo. You don't need to get sassy with me.
If you say so, but don't expect I'm going to let you hide here at the base.
I'll return to my own base soon enough, but for now, I'm going to give you this.
The Chief Evoker handed me a mace, even though I already had a powerful weapon. He also showed me a book of secrets full of magic spells. What are these for?
My companions who helped forge the accursed one, the Geomancer and Windcaller, might be gone now, but the magic we used to create the golem existed before us, and remains without them. I have written my part of it in my book of secrets, and if you can find the other two, we can enchant the mace with a breaking spell to unmake the accursed one.
Now that's more like it. I'll take on this quest and gain the power to defeat Red. Where should I start?
Return to the Red Oak Forest. There you may seek the Windcaller's magical secrets.
And with that, I was on my way. From day 50 to day 53, I sought the magical secrets of the Windcaller deep in the Red Oak Forest. Here, secret, here, secret. Finding secrets was a way more difficult task than I had thought, but then again, I guess that's what made them secrets. In its current condition, the mace was not a powerful weapon, so I couldn't even use it to fight regular mobs. I was about to head back home when I ran into a mummy.
Did somebody say secret? As in the magical secrets of the Windcaller?
Yes, I did. But don't tell anyone. It has to be a secret.
I remember back when the Windcaller and those other two were first building their golem with the intention to protect us all. The Windcaller said that the golem would have the power to listen to the wind and know when others are in trouble.
That probably has something to do with finding the secret, but I can't figure it out right now. I walked away and traveled off through the woods. I'd be back to scout this area again on another day. From day 54 to day 57, I was taking a scenic walk through the prairie on the way back to my base when I encountered that Dark Knight Rider who was working for Red.
Time for me to ask you a question, Venom Dragon. And the answer is your demise!
Why are you even working for Red, Dark Knight Rider? Don't you know that he's a loner?
Simple, because I've got a score to settle with the Chief Evoker. But you won't need to hear about that. I'll just chop you to pieces!
The Dark Knight Rider ran towards me, and I used my Venom Breath on him. It barely did any damage, and he just kept charging forward. I'd better get out of here. I flew away, escaping through the sky where the Dark Knight Rider couldn't reach me. While his handyman was tracking me, Red was brooding all alone in his base.
I can hear him now, those voices on the wind. Yes, that's a sure sign that my enemies are in trouble. It's cool to know that people I don't like are failing.
From day 58 to day 62, I came in for a graceful landing in the middle of my base, where Bogey was quick to welcome me back home.
Our base has become much more self-sufficient thanks to my efforts. Come check this out.
I looked around inside to see Bogey had installed a furnace for regulating temperature throughout the base. This is excellent, Bogey. Who doesn't need a furnace in the desert for when it gets cold?
I also started work on building a defensive bunker in case things really get dangerous out there. Can you gather some materials to help complete it?
Of course! The mines were full of the materials I would need to reinforce the bunker, so I went down below to gather them. I went further than the usual mines and arrived at the deep mining cave. There was iron and stone, and of course, diamonds! Never can have too many of these. I should upgrade my gear with these shiny diamonds while I'm here. I mined the diamonds and crafted myself a diamond sword, diamond pickaxe, and diamond helmet. While I didn't have enough diamonds for a full suit of armor, I was armed with a strong weapon now in the form of my diamond sword. I returned to Bogey the fungus thrower and gave him all the materials I gathered so he could finish the defensive bunker within the base. From day 63 to day 66, I found the evoker had come to visit my base again with further knowledge on how I could complete the mace and the unmaking spell.
I have found the secret location of the magical secrets that the Geomancer had once brought to the table in the creation of the Accursed One.
That's great news! I wasn't able to find the Windcaller's magic secrets, but at least we can use the Geomancer's secrets.
They are in a new biome that you've never seen before. Allow me to guide you to that place.
The Chief Evoker led me down to the lush caves, a forest beneath the surface of the overworld, which had unique plants seen nowhere else in the world. This looks like the work of geomancy, no doubt about it. We soon came upon a huge door that was sealed with geomancy magic.
The magical secrets are behind here.
That's good to know, but it looks like the door itself can't be opened.
It's true. The Geomancer was so ashamed of playing a role in the making of the Accursed One that he sealed his secrets behind this door.
I guess we'll need to backtrack here once we've learned the way to get through this door. From day 67 to day 70, the Chief Evoker once again asked me for help with another matter.
It is urgent. There is a bad soul running loose around the prairie. You have to stop it.
I guess I've got to do what you say. I arrived at the prairie and saw exactly what the Chief Evoker was talking about. An evil wraith was going absolutely crazy and tearing the place apart. I drew my machete and moved towards the wraith, cautiously. It fired a lightning bolt to me, which I dodged. I returned the favor with my venom breath.
Leave achieved true power. I don't need anyone anymore. I am strong all by myself.
Just because you're cool by yourself doesn't mean you should go destroying things.
I bet somebody else made you believe that so you wouldn't destroy him. Life is better when you're on your own.
And you're only saying that because you aren't listening to others. If you listen to me, I promise you'll be stronger with someone to help you. The wraith thought about it for a moment.
You have convinced me to accept help from others. If it really does power me up.
I solved the problem without fighting. I guess not every bad soul is beyond convincing. From day 71 to day 74, the Dark Knight Rider showed up and started breaking down my base with his deadly horse.
Not so cool after I pillage your base. Then again, you were never cool.
You're the one who's about to find out what cool is after I slice you. I drew my machete and we battled each other, weapon to weapon. The fight was even for a while, but then the Dark Knight Rider disarmed me of my machete and stole it for himself.
It'd be hard to slice me without this. See you later, you uncool fool.
Wait, this isn't over! The Dark Knight Rider didn't wait, and just like that, he was gone. I may have survived with my life, but I lost Bogey's favorite machete, and that made me extremely sad. I ran into my room and cried about it for a long time, wishing I had only hung onto the machete a little bit tighter. After a few hours of crying, Bogey showed up in my room. I was almost too sad to talk to him. I'm sorry, Bogey. I can't believe I lost your favorite machete.
Zozo, it's only a machete. At least you're still okay. You're my best friend.
You're right. Thanks, Bogey.
Come out and play. I've already fixed the base up from the Dark Knight Rider attack.
I spent some time with Bogey, not knowing that Red was once again plotting something all by his lonesome.
Try to unmake me, will they? I'll unmake them when I get my hands on the fully completed Mace of Magic.
From day 75 to day 78, the Chief Evoker was back at my base once again. You show up here a whole lot, don't you?
It's because you're so useful, Zozo. Now have all these javelins.
Okay, I'll have all those javelins. I took the javelins that the Chief Evoker was giving me and asked him if there was any other reason why he was here.
There is. I thought you could help me deal with the Dark Knight Rider that has been plaguing us. That is because he tried my magic secrets, but I said no, and kept him from learning.
Why didn't you let him learn your magic?
Who knows? But secrets are meaningless unless you keep them.
That sounded kinda cool, but not in a nice way. Either way, I took my javelins and I went to track down the Dark Knight Rider. From day 79 to day 84, I explored the Red Desert until I found Red's base. There, I saw the Dark Knight Rider, obviously about to report to his boss, the Accursed One. Eat javelins, you thief! I flew around the Dark Knight Rider and hurled the javelins one after another. He was barely damaged at all. The javelins were ineffective, so I switched to my shooting claw attacks.
Why would I eat those? Javelins and claws aren't food, but you're going to be minced meat once I'm done with you!
The Dark Knight Rider attacked me with his horse, which even with my diamond armor, still did a lot of damage.
See? I don't need magic to be a cool guy. All I need is a horse and style, and I can do whatever I want with my life.
You need more than that, Dark Knight Rider. Life isn't about doing whatever you want. It's about doing what must be done. That's what real coolness is all about. Inspired by my own words, I embraced the power of coolness and leveled up into a big-sized supreme Venom dragon with 100 hearts. How do you like me now? Probably not a lot, because I'm gonna destroy you with my coolness.
Oh, no! He's so cool now!
I sure am, but enough about me. Here's something that isn't cool, my 1,000,000-degree Dragon Fireball! I used my new special attack to defeat the Dark Knight Rider! The Dragon Fireball scorched him and his horse, leaving behind no trace he was even there, beyond my machete and a special key marked with geomancy magic. I have a feeling I know where this goes. From day 85 to day 89, I saw that Bogey the Fungus Thrower had almost completed the defensive bunker that I had gathered all those materials for.
All it needs is a strong door to keep out the authorities.
I can handle that. Leave it to me, Bogey. With a few more pieces of iron and glass, I crafted a set of metal warning doors and sealed the chamber by placing down the doors. The defensive bunker was complete. I'll be heading to the lush caves. Stay inside the bunker where it's safe. I brought the special key I got from the Dark Knight Rider to the caves and used the item to unlock the Geomancer's door. Finally, I can enchant the mace with the magic secrets of the Geomancer. On the other side of the door was a giant tarantula that spit poison at me. I struck back with a Dragon Fireball. The tarantula was too tough to go down in one hit, but the second and third fireballs hit their mark and flame-broiled the spidery mob. Now for those delicious secrets. The Geomancer had written the secrets on the wall, and as I read them, the mace became infused with power. Could this be the unmaking spell I need to defeat Red? I certainly hope it is. From day 90 to day 94, I exited the Geomancer's secret cave with the mace in my hand and found that Red was standing there in the lush caves, menacingly.
What are you gonna do with that, Zozo? Are you gonna try and unmake me now, punk? Are ya?
It seems like the thing I must do, right?
Wrong! You could be free and cool like me if you put down the mace and stood by my side. I can still show you how to be awesome.
I'm not listening to you. It's unmaking time. I hit him with the mace, but the charged up magic didn't accomplish much of anything. Was the spell still incomplete? He hit me with a big punch that knocked away almost half of my health. That knocked me so hard, I dropped my mace, which he grabbed and hit me again. Before I could do anything back, I was frozen by some magic. Oh no, I can't escape.
You actually believed what Chief Evoker said? He doesn't know how to destroy me, and soon nobody will be able to. Goodbye, Zozo.
Red left, and I was still frozen by the scared still effect. I have to find a way out of here. From day 95 to day 97, I waited just long enough for the effect to wear down and go away. Now that I was released, I traveled through the lush caves. I knew that I had to talk to the Chief Evoker to find out the real way to unmake Red. When I arrived at the Evoker's base in the prairie, I found that all the royal guards were dead, and the Evoker himself wasn't far from it.
Zozo, where were you? The Accursed One rampaged through here and took out everyone, including me.
I tried my hardest, Evoker, but I was trapped, and Red, the Accursed One, was too strong for the unmaking spell.
I guess there really is no way to undo a mistake. I was the most uncool fool of all.
As he faded away, I
I was reminded of something I had known for a long time. I'd need to take this matter into my own hands. Red was going down. On day 98, I found my base in the Red Desert had been reduced to ruins. The sheep had all wandered far away. This was probably the work of Red, since I knew his base wasn't far from mine. I guess this desert really does belong to him now. He's made it clear that nobody else is welcome here.
Since when do we have to listen to what the accursed one says?
It was Bogey the fungus thrower. He had survived the attack by hiding inside the defensive bunker. Bogey, you're alive!
I'm more alive than ever. We'll protect the overworld now, just you and me. I've got an idea to deal with Red.
Let's hear it. You've always come through for me, just like your favorite machete.
If we can take the mace from Red, we might not be able to unmake him, but we can reprogram him to be what he was always meant to be, a protector.
I like that plan. On day 99, I went to Red's base and flew in circles, shooting dragon fireballs at it until he came out to face me. After a while, Red finally appeared.
Give it a rest. You lost. I'm too cool to care about anybody now.
That's what you think. I'm pretty cool too, and I bet you can't beat me without the mace.
You mean this mace? I don't need it.
He threw the mace onto the ground, and we began to fight each other. I avoided his punches and hit him with my shooting claw attacks, then my machete. Red hit me with a strong attack, and I needed to get some distance on him. I blasted him with dragon fireballs. He ran towards me and tried to punch me again, but I flew into the air to avoid them. The damage from the fight was difficult to withstand, but I bought enough time for Bogey the fungus thrower to sneak up and steal the mace off the ground.
Zozo, I got it! Let's get out of here!
Great work, Bogey! I shot another dragon fireball at Red to distract him, and then retreated back to the base with Bogey. Once we were there, we used all the magical secrets to change the unmaking spell into a make better spell. You stay here, Bogey. I'm gonna use this spell on Red, the accursed one, and make him Red, the reversed one. Or the nice one. On day 100, I flew back to Red's base and went inside. Red, the accursed one, was there waiting for me, but I was ready to face him.
All this time you've had to learn how to be cool, but you really just learned how to keep being a fool.
Actually, I've learned the best lesson of all. People who are really cool don't have to say it all the time. And they don't just do whatever they want, they do what they must.
No more speeches! I will unmake you like you tried to unmake me!
I was wrong, Red. I won't unmake you anymore. I'll make you better. We battled in melee combat for some time. I used the machete to chip away at his defenses until I could use the Make Better spell from the mace. The spell worked its secret magic, and soon Red was starting to seem a whole lot less mean. He grew in size and changed his color to a friendly green, becoming a golem with a kind streak as big as his arm span.
Wow, I don't want to be a loner anymore. I want to protect other people.
And everything was better! Now, thanks to my Make Better spell, Red, or should I say Green, would be the world's protector, and I would have a chance to relax until I was needed again. On day 1, I spawned into the seasonal forest as a rad poison dinosaur! Whoa, I'm awesome and deadly! Nobody is gonna mess with me, even though I've only got 10 hearts. But that turned out to be totally wrong, because as quick as a flash, an intimidating axe-wielding pillager appeared right behind me. He didn't look intimidated by me at all.
Howdy. Haven't seen you around these parts before, kid.
Hey, I'm Zozo. It's, nice to meet ya.
Wish I could say the same. Name's Pillager Pete. The meanest, nastiest son of a gun you'll find around here. I'm gonna give you 3 seconds to run, and then I'm gonna destroy you.
But why? I don't even know you.
3, 2, 1.
He didn't hesitate for a second. Pillager Pete attacked, and all I could do was run for the hills. I didn't even have weapons. There was no way I could fight him. But as I ran away, I heard Pillager Pete yell.
Get 'em, boys!
That's when a gang of Vindicators jumped out of the trees and started chasing me. It seemed like this Pillager Pete guy had a whole team working for him. But why were they after me? In the end, I managed to outrun them and hid behind a clutch of trees until they stopped looking. I need to figure out what's going on here, or my poison goose is cooked. On day 2, I felt relieved, having narrowly escaped the scary Pillager Pete and those lethal gangs of Vindicators.
But I couldn't afford to worry too much about it. Instead, I needed to get myself a snack or my hunger bar was going to start eating itself. Lucky for me, I was able to find some apples that sated my hunger. Do dinosaurs eat apples? Who knows? I'm not a paleontologist. That's the name for someone who studies dinosaurs, by the way. But before I could even let my dinner settle, one of the Vindicators popped out and prepared to attack me.
Pillager Pete sends his regards, you poison little loser.
With no weapons, I couldn't fight back. I just ran off and avoided him until he disappeared. Then, when the coast was clear, I decided it was a good time to start working on a shelter. I broke down a tree and made a wooden pickaxe. Then, I mined up some stone and used it to build some better tools. A stone pickaxe and a stone sword. And with my spare stone, I built myself a basic one-room base where I could rest for the night. I'll figure out how to defeat all those villains tomorrow. On day 3, I ventured out of the seasonal forest to the inhospitable cold of the shattered glacier. Yeesh, I wouldn't want to build a summer home around here. Still, there might at least be some cool loot for the taking. But thanks to my cruddy luck, instead of finding some awesome loot, I found a dangerous zombified piglin.
Hey, I'm the only weird, nasty creature that's allowed in these parts. You're cramping my style. And if you cramp my style, I'll crush you!
He attacked me viciously, causing me to run away. There was no way I could survive a fight with him at my low level of experience. Why is everyone so aggro here? I don't get it. Why is it so hard to make friends? But I may have gotten lucky in the end, because I happened upon a friendly weaponsmith wandering the glacier.
Well, hello there, me good lad. I'm Wally. Wally the Weaponsmith. As the name suggests, I like making weapons. What are you doing out here?
Oh, just exploring. I need to find some cool gear to fight off that nasty Pillager Pete guy.
Wait, you said Pillager Pete? Oh, Sonny, now that's a whole can of worms.
You know about Pillager Pete?
I've known him for years.
Then you better come with me. I need all the help I can get. From day 4 to day 5, I returned to the base with Wally the Weaponsmith. He seemed like a really useful guy to keep around. What kind of room would you like, Wally?
I'm easy, me lad. As long as I've got somewhere warm with a roof over my head, I'll be happy.
I worked on mining some stone and andesite and started putting together a new room with a bed for Wally the Weaponsmith to stay. When I was done making it, he decided to go and relax inside the room and make himself at home. But I wasn't able to relax just yet. A Vindicator assassin suddenly popped out of the trees and fired a blow dart at me.
Hey, how come that didn't work?
I'm a poison dinosaur, man. You can't use poison darts on me.
Oh well, I'll destroy you with a sword then.
Not if I destroy you first. We both drew weapons and I battled bravely until, in the end, the Vindicator assassin was defeated. And even better, I got to pick up his blowgun and the darts. I bet this will be even more lethal in the hands of a poison dinosaur like me. From day 6 to day 8, I went out further into the seasonal forest to gather up some more resources, namely sheep. Wool can be used for so many things after all. I found a gang of sheep and was able to shepherd them back to my base, where I built a basic pen to keep them in. But when I went back out to the seasonal forest to gather even more sheep, I found something I didn't want to find. Or rather, that something found me.
Long time no see, Zozo.
It was Pillager Pete, and he was back with a deadly new surprise for me.
Throwing axes, freshly sharpened for that killer edge. Figured you might be able to help me with some target practice. I'll throw, and you play the target.
Before I had a chance to think up a poisonously clever comeback, he tossed an axe right at me, and I was forced to run for my life. He just followed me, laughing, throwing axe after axe. When one hit me, I lost almost all of my hearts. I needed to get out of here.
Running away already, Zozo? The fun's just getting started for me.
I knew I wasn't strong enough to beat him yet. Instead, I hid behind a tree and dug a hole into the ground, which I hid inside while Pillager Pete ran past me. I stayed in that hole for the rest of the day, wanting to make sure he was gone before I climbed back out and went back to my base. Jeez, what a day! From day 9 to day 10, I woke up to the weaponsmith, brimming with excitement. He had some awesome things to show me.
Zozo, me boy, I wanted to thank you for giving me a place to stay in these difficult times. For starters, I made you a statue. It's a bit of a work in progress, but I think when it's done, it's gonna be amazing.
Wow, thank you, Wally. I can't wait to see it. I followed him outside and saw the start of a statue that Wally had been building. It was an astounding sight to see. I couldn't tell you what it was yet, but I knew it was going to be amazing. How about you, viewer? What do you think it's gonna be? Let me know in the comments. I can't wait to see if you get it right. But it wasn't just the statue. Wally had some other good news too.
Oi! Take a look around the base, Zozo. I made a training area for you to work in. And I plan to create a lot of weapons for you too. And I made a furnace to make it easier for me to forge for you. I also made a storage room to keep the weapons and resources.
Wow, Wally, that's amazing! Let's build a campfire tomorrow night to celebrate! From day 11 to day 12, I stood by a campfire outside my base as the evening turned to dusk, hanging out with Wally the weaponsmith. Wally, you told me you knew something about Pillager Pete. I think now is a pretty good time for you to share that information, bud.
Huh, you've got me there, lad. I suppose now is the right time to tell you. I was worried if I told you before, you'd be discouraged.
Tell me, I believe I can take it.
I used to be a bounty hunter. He got so good at it. In fact, he hired a loathsome gang of Vindicators to join him on his quests. But they got bored doing jobs for people. They'd take out their targets, they'd take out the people who hired them, and they'd take out anyone who they saw along the way. These days, they mostly just go after people for the challenge. They enjoy it.
And I guess he thinks that the mighty poison dinosaur is a good challenge?
Aye, lad. He'll hunt you down if it's the last thing he does. So you gotta make sure it is the last thing he does.
So no pressure then.
That's why I didn't tell you before.
From day 13 to day 15, finally knowing just how dangerous my opponent was, I decided that I needed to settle some old scores and prove my worth. That's why I was making my way through the Shattered Glacier once again, ready to take on one of my earliest and deadliest enemies, the zombified piglin. I approached with my stone sword at the ready. It was time to finish this.
Oink, oink! Ready to get your poison butt kicked, Dino?
It's Zozo! But yes, I guess I am also a dino. It's confusing, but don't worry about it. Let's just fight! And so, we did! The zombified piglin and I duked it out, and I gave it my all, until in the end, my power and my poison were too much for him! The zombified piglin was defeated, and I had enough XP to level up, getting bigger, stronger, faster, and now having 30 whole hearts! But wait, I can feel my power growing! What is this? Boom! I fired a powerful poison blast! Oh yeah! I have a feeling that this new power is gonna be useful! From day 16 to day 19, I descended into the mining cavern I'd worked so hard to find. I'd never been so grateful to be in a deep, dark hole. Okay, iron, 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 where are you? I kept searching until I found a rich vein of iron ore and used my pickaxe to dig the ore out. I collected as much of it as I could, and then prepared to leave the cavern. Wait, what's that weird noise? Suddenly, an arrow hit me, and I saw a bunch of skeletons walking towards me. Most would have been scared, but not me. I was just excited to try out my new Poison Blast ability. Time to see how my poison affects bones. I unleashed a few poison blasts, and the skeletons immediately started dying. I'd never felt so powerful. Pillager Pete is gonna be in real trouble next time we see each other. I gathered the rest of the iron and returned back. With the Skelly Boys defeated, I went back to my base and gave the iron ore over to the weaponsmith.
Great work, lad! I've tempered you some fine weapons with the furnace. Take this iron sword and iron pickaxe and use them to make yourself even stronger.
Thanks, Weaponsmith Wally. I can't wait. From day 20 to day 22, I woke up to the weaponsmith panicking in my bedroom. Wally, why'd you come in here? Can't you see I'm trying to get my poison dinosaur beauty sleep?
No time, lad. The pillager, he's here, and he looks like he's ready to battle. You need to be ready. He's gonna destroy us all.
Jeez, this is one heck of a wake-up call, Wally. I yanked myself out of my bed and ran out to meet Pillager Pete at the door. He looked every bit as well-trained and lethal as before.
Well, well, well. If it ain't the toxic twerp, I'll need to teach a thing or two.
I'm learning on my own, Pillager, and everything I've learned is going to make me even stronger than you.
I love your confidence, kid. It's more fun to destroy someone when they think they're gonna win.
Without warning, the pillager threw an axe at me, wounding me, but I couldn't afford to back down. I started attacking Wally with my iron sword, striking again and again, slowly wearing him down. In the end, I hit him with a poison blast, and that stopped him in his tracks.
You dirty little snake. You're always gonna rely on your poison to win, aren't you? You little coward.
You're not worth my time.
I'll see you next time, Pete. And when I do, only one of us will remain. Pillager Pete disappeared in a puff of smoke, and I was left feeling the thrill of battle and the belief that I truly had it in me to defeat that diabolical pillager. From day 23 to day 26, I decided to craft a brand new weapon for myself, the Poison Sprayer. This would allow me to concentrate my most powerful poisons into an area of effect spray attack. This weapon will no doubt serve me well when Pillager Pete comes knocking. I'll show him who uses poison to win fights, nobody else but me. And if you want to show your friends more of my most epic battles, remember to search Zozo so you can find more videos. From day 27 to day 31, I went to check on Wally the Weaponsmith and see how his work on the statue was progressing. How goes it, Wally?
Hi there, Zozo. The statue has a new section complete, thanks to my craftsmanship. Want to come see it?
Sure, if you insist. The statue was now of an impressive size, and I still couldn't see what it would become.
For the next part, I need some more framed glass. That could be tricky to come by in the large quantities I need, even for a weaponsmith like me. But I did hear of an abandoned mine in the Sierra Valley, which might have a vein of it.
Say no more. I'm off to collect this special glass so you can make more progress on this glorious statue. I gathered my weapons and departed from the base to begin my quest for the stacks upon stacks of glass needed. Before long, I was deep in the Sierra Valley. The area was crawling with Vindicators, who somehow must have known I'd be searching for resources in the area. Didn't take long for some to spot me and run in.
You made a big mistake, embarrassing Pillager Pete like that. He's gonna want us to destroy you slowly for what you've done.
And you made an even bigger mistake telling me that. The Poison Sprayer should keep you creeps at bay. And it did. I defeated multiple Vindicators using the Poison Sprayer, then used my Poison Blast on another couple and finished them all. From day 32 to day 35, I ventured farther into the Sierra Valley and encountered another vicious Vindicator.
You can't scare me away, Zozo. I'm braver than my buddies.
Rather than facing it head on, I used a poison dart for my blowgun and then switched to the Poison Sprayer to inflict the poison status. The poison damage gradually weakened him, especially when I also used the Poison Blast. The combination of all this was able to finish him off quickly. This valley is more dangerous than I thought. For Vindicators. Oh yeah, I'm the most dangerous thing here. That's when I saw a wandering trader traveling through the area. Traders are known for having all sorts of rare items, so immediately I started to think that I should do business with the guy. I'll bet he even has the framed glass I need for the statue. I approached the trader and asked if I could purchase any of his wares, especially if his inventory happened to include framed glass.
I do have some of those, but I won't just give them away for free.
Okay already, name your price.
I need you to rescue my librarian, who has been kidnapped by the Enderman. I have a couple overdue library books in my inventory, and if the librarian is gone, I'll never be able to return them.
That's it? A rescue mission? Easy peasy poison greasy. I got this. From day 36 to day 39, I traveled to the base of the Enderman, who kidnapped the local librarian. The fate of 1,000 library cards hangs in the balance. I may be the toughest poison dinosaur around, but even I support access to good reading. I looked in through one of the windows of the base and saw a cage with the librarian held captive inside. The Enderman was pacing around the room, looking all kinds of sinister.
Please let me go. Running a well-stocked library is a service to the community, and I can't do it if I'm trapped in here.
That's exactly the point. Without you taking care of the library, I'll be able to keep my overdue library books forever.
You fiend! Other people might want to read those books.
Then they can pry them from my pitch-dark, freakishly long arms.
This Enderman is seriously evil, but it was a good thing that he wasn't very careful. I could see the key to the librarian's cage on the wall. I can't use an area of effect weapon like the Poison Sprayer because I might poison the librarian, so I'll use a bunch of blow darts on the Enderman first, then use my iron sword to end the fight up close and personal. I prepared some poison darts for the first step of my plan and proceeded to enter the structure. From day 40 to day 43, I snuck up on the Enderman and surprised him with a couple poison sprays.
Who in the heck are you?
Just a poison dinosaur who is here to rescue the librarian. Nothing personal.
It's about to be personal because I'd rather fight to the bitter end than return any of my library books.
You have some strange priorities, Enderman. But by all means, keep talking about them so my poison has more time to damage you.
You lousy, I'm going to make you extinct.
The Enderman charged in swinging, but I knew the poison was taking its toll, so I pulled out my iron sword and started swinging right back. We fought in melee, and I quickly gained the upper hand. With a few daring slashes, I overwhelmed the Enderman and finished what the poison started. Bye-bye, Enderman. I guess it was your end you should have been worried about. The fallen Enderman dropped the key, which I used to unlock the librarian's cage.
Thank you for saving me.
I returned to the wandering merchant and told him what I did. He then provided me with the material for the statue. Side quest taken care of. Oh yeah! From day 44 to day 49, I returned to my base with the framed glass that Wally the weaponsmith would need to continue work on the statue. Here you go, Wally. Don't say I never do anything around here.
Why not? I like the statue building to me. Thanks for doing the tough part.
Trust me, Wally, I'm capable of a whole lot of things. And to prove what I said, I used some of my extra stone, wood, and iron to construct a perimeter wall around the entire base. The base had gotten to be quite large, so it took a while, but the wall was a lot of fun to build and would make a great defensive barrier too. Man, I worked up a real poisonous sweat getting this wall built. Now that it's done, I'd better go see if Wally has made any progress on the statue in the meantime. Back to the area where the statue was being constructed and saw that it was much closer to be completed than last time. That framed glass that I had collected really shined in the proper place.
Zozo, you're staring at the statue again? It's not gonna be finished today, you know.
I know, Wally. I'm just taking a break to admire it. From day 50 to day 53, the perimeter wall I just built around the base was attacked by a gang of Vindicators, and as usual, Pillager Pete was the one sending them.
Tear down that wall! We've got ourselves a catch to bring in.
I was sure they were talking about me, so I drew my blowgun and started to fire poison darts at them from the wall. Here I am. Did you miss me? Because my darts won't miss you. A few of the Vindicators were poisoned by my attack and climbed up the broken wall to fight me more directly. I drew my iron sword and slashed them down. Then I heard Wally crying out in the distance.
Hey, unhand me. I'm not going anywhere with you by choice.
Oh no, I was wrong. Wally was actually the target they were after this time. The Vindicators had surrounded him, and by the time I got over there, he'd already been kidnapped and taken away.
I order half of you to stay behind and see if you can get that poison dinosaur. He's the real prize.
As Pete escaped, the others tried to take me on, so I switched to my poison sprayer and hit them with all of my strongest poisons. Can't catch me, and I'll get Wally back after I whoop all of you with my poison powers. With some poison blasts, I wiped out the remaining Vindicators one by one. The experience of defeating them caused me to level up, obtaining 50 hearts and some radical poison claw attacks. From day 54 to day 57, I repaired my base and built it back better than ever, leveling up the architecture to the standards of my new, bigger, powered-up self. I'm here on my own now without Wally, but I won't be lonely for long. That guy is too handy of a weaponsmith to let him stay captured. I just need some help from one of my other friends. I went to the Sierra Valley where the wandering trader liked to hang out, and as expected, he was there.
Well, if it isn't my favorite customer, what can I do for you today?
Pillager Pete and his force of former bounty hunters took my weaponsmith. I'm looking for any information you might have about where their base is.
Oh, I've got information. A trader keeps track of all sorts of business. Those bounty hunters operate in the far north, where they keep a prison for the most hard-to-catch targets. Back in the day, they would turn them in for money. But now the prison is more like a living trophy cabinet, a place where the creatures they capture are forced to stay forever.
This has to be where they've taken Wally. You said this prison was in the north, but north is a pretty general direction. Where in the north is it?
It's so far north that you'll enter the snowy tundra biome before you find it. Search around in the reaches of that place, and it won't be too much farther.
Well, that's exactly what I needed to know. Thanks, wandering trader.
Wait, aren't you gonna trade me something?
You never named your price. Better luck next time. From day 58 to day 62, I was digging in the mines for diamonds so that I could soup up my gear for the journey north. Iron rusts, but diamonds are forever. In the depths of the cavern, I ran into a few ghasts that weren't too happy to see a poisoned dinosaur making moves in their territory. Too bad for them that my poison claws were so strong that I could take each one down in a single blow. Guess that's the ghast we'll see of those guys. With those nuisances out of the way, I was free to keep mining until I struck diamond. I grabbed all that I could carry and brought it to the crafting table where I fashioned some brand new diamond gear. First, a diamond pickaxe, and then a diamond sword. The journey north will be much less treacherous with these. From day 63 to day 66, I took a moment to observe the half-complete statue that Wally the Weaponsmith hadn't yet completed. If he were here, Wally would probably be working on this right now. I need to get him back so he can complete it. Also, under my tough and cool exterior, I really did miss my friend and hoped that I would be able to find him and save him from Pillager Pete. And if you hope to find more of my videos, you should subscribe to the channel so that all my new uploads will appear right there on your YouTube feed. From day 67 to day 70, I had been traveling for a while before I reached the snowy tundra. This is it, the far north. I made it. Nothing is going to keep me from saving Wally. I could see the old bounty hunter prison standing tall among the slopes. It was guarded by a patrol of Vindicators, but I wouldn't let them stop me from breaking in. I fired my poison darts at the Vindicators to draw their attention towards me, inflicting the poison status condition in the process.
Ah, the poison dinosaur has come all the way to the far north. Let's send him packing.
I don't think so. I'm here to check in and save my friend. I drew my diamond sword and hacked and slashed straight through all the approaching Vindicators. The way forward was now totally clear for me to enter into the prison and find Wally the Weaponsmith. From day 71 to day 74, I was traversing the many treacherous floors of the bounty hunter prison. I was searching for Wally, but I couldn't see any sign of him. All of the prison cells I did see were empty, and on one of them, the bars were broken off. I wonder who was in there.
The same menace who is now out here!
I turned around to see a zombified piglin running towards me down the hallway.
I was captured by Pillager Pete, but now I enjoy living at this prison because I get to eat all the other prisoners!
You eat the prisoners? That's nasty! But you didn't need a weaponsmith, did you?
No. Why? Do you know one?
You know what? Forget I mentioned it. Also, take this! I poison blasted the zombified piglin. He aggressively responded with brutal melee attacks. Instead of using my diamond sword, I used my poison claws to give the zombified piglin a poison status effect and deal enough regular damage to take him out. He dropped a map that revealed the location of Wally's cell. On my way down to it, I discovered a treasure chest, which I opened. Inside was a full set of diamond armor, most likely confiscated from a former prisoner. I equipped the armor and kept on moving. From day 75 to day 78, I reached the prison cell where Wally was being held. Wally, you look like you've had better days.
Zozo, never expected to see you again, but here you are to bust me out of the prison.
Wally, listen, I realized something while I was on my journey to the far north. Even though people like Pillager Pete have made life difficult for me, I haven't given up on making friends. I might be strong now, but it takes real strength to let your guard down around other people.
That's a really mature thing for you to say, Zozo. I appreciate it. Now let's get out of here.
I mined through the bars of the prison cell with my diamond pickaxe, and the two of us went in search of the exit. Unfortunately, we were intercepted along the way by Pillager Pete.
What's this? Are we gonna start a new hunt? I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Not as much as I am, Pete. I'm going to defeat you. I waved Wally on and confronted Pillager Pete myself. I'd catch up with my best friend later. For now, it was payback time. I attacked with my poison claws while Pillager Pete struck with his weapon. Both of us were losing health fast, but if I could poison him, I'd be able to swing the battle in my favor, which did the trick. Ha! You're poisoned! This is my win, Pete.
That's what you think.
From day 79 to day 84, Pillager Pete absorbed my poison and proceeded to grow larger and much stronger.
I warned you against using poison. If you introduce a sneaky tactic to the game, then it's gonna be used against you. I'll poison Pete now. Infinitely more toxic than my original form. Your status effects won't be able to bring me down now.
Wait, that means you're immune to poison?
That's right. I had to adapt to all kinds of strange targets during my bounty hunter days, and you've been on my list long enough for me to become your worst nightmare. Go ahead and run. I'll give you a head start because it's more fun that way.
I ran away from the prison and down the snowy tundra, knowing that I couldn't beat him in my current state. I may have rescued Wally, but the poisonous Pillager Pete was still coming for me, and I needed a new plan. From day 85 to day 89, I safely returned to base after traveling for who knows how long. It seemed that Pete's head start was still in effect, so I went to Wally for some advice on how to arm myself against the former bounty hunter's new poison-immune form.
Sounds like what you need is a weapon enchantment for your diamond sword. I've got you covered with this fire aspect enchantment that should enhance the damage you deal to him. I'll keep thinking while I complete my work on the statue. For now, you should use the enchantment.
Thanks, Wally. I'll keep on thinking about how to win as well. This works better if we both put our heads together. I went to the anvil and applied the fire aspect enchantment to my diamond sword. Now I could inflict a burn on Pillager Pete. But I knew that alone wouldn't be enough to beat him, so I decided to go back to Wally and see if he had more ideas. I made my way back to the statue area to find it complete. An incredible statue of a poison flask. I'm more than just my poison, but putting it on display and acknowledging it really reminded me of how far I'd come in my poison dinosaur journey.
Zozo, I came up with another idea. You should head back to the Sierra Valley and find the potion of power that the Enderman once hoarded to himself.
You're full of great ideas, Wally. That's one of the many reasons we're friends. From day 90 to day 94, I set out for the Enderman's base and found out the Vindicators were there already. They must be looking for the potion of power.
Split up and search the place. The Enderman may have outwitted us long ago, but we can still reclaim his stuff now for the boss, including the potion of power.
I knew it! The Vindicators all noticed me and began to attack. But unlike their boss, these guys weren't immune to my poison. I hit them with poison blasts, poison darts, and my poison sprayer until all of them were taken out. I searched through the base until I found a chest containing the fabled potion of power. I better save this for a key moment. With my enchanted sword and the potion of power in my inventory, there was only one more kind of gear I needed in order to have my showdown with Pete. Luckily, I knew exactly the man who could get me special items. From day 95 to day 97, I invited the wandering trader to my base and gave him a bunch of spare materials in exchange for the best suit of armor that he had in his inventory.
Here you go, Zozo. A full set of custom netherite armor, perfectly sized for a poison dinosaur.
Excellent! I'm going to try it on! I equipped the netherite armor, and now I had all the right stuff I needed to be a match for Pillager Pete in his positively perilous Poison Pete form. I'm going to put Pete in his place.
Good luck out there, Zozo. You'll always be my favorite customer.
On day 98, I kept all of my best gear close by as I remembered all the tough times I went through to get here. I learned so many new ways to use my poisonous power, but I also built things and made friends. Life can be really fun, even if there's a lot of difficult moments in it. And some of the most fun that we can have together is on many more adventures through the overworld. After this, search for more Zozo videos so that you can keep on having fun, and remember to leave a comment about what you want to see next. On day 99, I went back to the snowy tundra to give Pillager Pete the fight of his life. I was decked out in my netherite armor, holding my diamond sword enchanted with the fire aspect, and ready to drink the potion of power when the fight began. I'm here, Pete. Let's end this little game. Pillager Pete stepped out in his adapted form, looking as vicious as ever.
You didn't want to run anymore? Instead, you came straight to me. I'll mess you up so bad, you'll wish you did run away.
That's the thing, Pete. I'll never wish I ran away from this fight, because I'm not going to live my life in fear of bad people. I'm going to beat you and live the rest of it with the good people I chose to call my friends.
Don't you see? There's always some new enemy out there, some new challenges to overcome. Living an easy life? That's nothing to aspire to.
It's everything to aspire to, and whatever comes my way, I'll keep fighting for that easy life, by any means necessary. He charged forward and hit me, but my netherite armor reduced the damage of his hits enough that I could strike back on equal footing. I swung my fire aspect sword and dealt a lot of damage, both regular and fire. We kept on trading blows, with my powerful form and gear keeping me in the fight. Pillager Pete had hunted me across the overworld for a long time, but today, he didn't stand a chance. With my poison fireball, I destroyed him so he would never hunt down anyone again. On day 100, I was living the easy life I had dreamed of back at the base with the others. The trouble with Pillager Pete was done, and for now, I could keep poison to myself. Wally decided to share some words of wisdom with me since today was our first real day of freedom.
Sometimes, the best weapon we have when the going gets tough is a good attitude.
I couldn't agree more, buddy. There we were, friends together, united against a harsh and difficult world that was looking a little bit better every day. On day 1, I spawned in as Lava Spider-Man in the middle of the Black Forest. Whoa, Lava Spider-Man, what a combination. What will they think of next?
But I didn't get to enjoy being the world's hottest web spinner for long, because suddenly some Endermen were emerging out of the woods around me. Uh-oh, I think I'm gonna leave you guys to it. I turned and ran off as fast as I could, until I couldn't see the Endermen anymore. They blended in well with the dark trees of the Black Forest. I'm only a baby lava Spider-Man with 10 hearts and no weapons. I can't take on a whole gang of Endermen like this. But I hadn't accounted for one thing. Endermen can teleport! One of them popped up right in front of me, stopping me in my tracks.
Why are you running from us, little one? Do you have something to hide?
What? No! I don't have anything to hide. I was just running because you guys were scary. No offense.
Sorry, kid, but I don't buy that. You're gonna need to come with us. Our master is gonna want to speak to you.
I thought about running again, or trying to fight, but then I turned and saw that even more of the Endermen had appeared behind me. There was no way I could get out! On day 2, one of the Endermen took me to some kind of strange fort, deep in the Black Forest. I had no idea who these Endermen worked for, or what they planned to do with me.
If you just play ball with us, kid, then no harm will come to you. There are just a few things we need to figure out.
Somehow, I didn't believe him. He threw me into some kind of prison cell with tall walls and no ceiling, just staring off into the sky. That's when I noticed a back door.
Don't bother trying to open that.
I turned and saw a cartographer standing in the corner, watching me.
I've tried. It can only be opened from the other side. I've been here for a week, so I think we're gonna be here in the long run.
So they got you too, huh? I'm Zozo. They captured me outside. What are you in for?
They captured me while mapping out the area. I'm a cartographer. That means I make maps. But they accused me of working for some suspicious person and locked me up. Believe me, I've tried every way to escape. It's impossible.
Or maybe not. Going on a hunch, I walked over to one of the walls and started to climb up it, like a spider. This must have been one of my awesome lava Spider-Man powers. Look at me go. I climbed all the way up the wall and hopped up onto the other side. Then I opened the door from the other side, freeing the cartographer.
That was amazing, Zozo. You're like a superhero.
Aw, geez, that's nice of you to say. But we should probably get out of here before those weird Endermen come back and try to capture us again.
Good idea. We'll split up, and I hope to see you again someday, Zozo.
Likewise, stay safe out there. So I ran off, trying to make my way out of the sinister Black Forest. On day 3, I escaped the Black Forest and reached the Badlands, which was as scorching hot and unforgiving as the name suggests. Wow, thank goodness I'm a lava Spider-Man, or I'd be roasting right now. But it wasn't just the heat that was a problem, it was hunger. You can't just run away from a bunch of sinister, mysterious Endermen without working up an appetite. And there aren't that many trees around here either, so I guess apples are out of the question too. But I wasn't out of luck just yet. I managed to find some delicious, healthy carrots nearby and pick them up for a quick snack. I may be a Spider-Man, but I'll take some nice carrots over flies any day. After eating the carrots and filling up my hunger bar, I continued exploring the Badlands until I ran into something spectacular. A huge, tough diamond golem.
Hey there, little dude. Pick your jaw up off the floor. You may be looking at the ultimate blinged out golem, but don't worry, I'm actually very approachable.
Sorry, I don't mean to stare, it's just, wow, you're so shiny.
Oh yeah, you better believe it. You know what they say, diamonds are forever, and so am I, no matter what these goofy, unshiny Endermen say.
Wait, the Endermen are after you too? I literally just escaped from those guys.
Is that so, little bro? Then I think we have a lot to say to each other. Follow me, my pad isn't far from here.
I'd made another friend. I eagerly followed the diamond golem through the Badlands, excited for whatever would come next. From day 4 to day 5, I continued with the diamond golem over to his pad. It was the coolest base I'd ever seen, the exact kind of thing you'd expect from a blinged out super golem. Wow, this place is amazing, diamond golem. I'm so impressed.
Please, kid, call me Dino. And your name?
I'm Zozo, Zozo the Lava Spider-Man.
That's a mouthful, little Zozo, but I can dig it. What you're lacking in Riz, you can make up for in guts. I like that. Let me guess, people have called you a superhero?
Wow, that was a good guess.
I have a talent for reading people. You just look like a hero, man. There are some dangerous people out there. Not every golem is as nice and cool as me. I need your help to take care of the people out there giving me a bad name. Can you dig it? You think you're tough enough?
I can dig it, and I definitely think I'm tough enough. I'll help you defeat all the bad guys.
Right on, little Zozo.
First though, you can't hang out here. You're harshing my vibe. Take these tools and go build your own place. Get it?
Yes, sir. Dino the Diamond Golem gave me a stone sword and a stone pickaxe, and I left to make a base of my own. That's how I ended up in the Amaranth Fields. Yeah, this is a much nicer climate. I immediately started cutting down trees and mining stone until I had enough material to start building a base. It wasn't anywhere near as cool as Dino's base, but if I worked hard, maybe someday it would be. But the physical exercise was worth it anyway, because I suddenly leveled up, getting bigger, stronger, suddenly having 20 hearts, and gaining a new power, Web Blasts. Oh yeah, now I'm like a real Spider-Man. And that new power couldn't have come at a better time. One of the same Endermen from earlier teleported in front of me.
I've been searching for you all day since you escaped our base. I knew you were trouble.
Oh, you have no idea. Unlike them, I wasn't taking prisoners. I fired Web Blast after Web Blast until the Enderman was no more. When I level up enough, I'm gonna be every bit as strong as Dino the Diamond Golem. From day 6 to day 8, I continued working on my base, making it a little bigger by adding a new building. And once I'd done that, I could start making it look as cool as Dino's base. During my lunch break, I saw a familiar figure walking through the Amaranth Fields. It was the cartographer who'd been in the prison with me. Of course, I immediately ran over to have a chat with my old cellmate. Hey, buddy, how's the free life treating ya?
Hi, Zozo. I wish I could say it was shaking out well, but it's honestly been pretty tough.
Oh no, why?
My boss, an iron golem, was meant to give me instructions on what maps to make next, but when I got to his house, it was destroyed, and he was gone. It feels like something suspicious has happened. Maybe someone is going after golems.
That's worrying. Take care of yourself out there, cartographer. I'm gonna go tell Dino the Diamond Golem. If someone is going after golems, he needs to know. And being true to my word, I immediately left to go visit Dino and warn him about the potential threat.
Wish I could say I was surprised, but it ain't easy being a golem. Here's the thing though, us golems are tough. We're not easy to take out. If someone is going after golems, there's a good chance they're a vengeful golem themselves.
Do we have any leads on who it can be?
I've heard rumors of an obsidian golem operating in the North Badlands. Go look into that and report back to me.
Of course, Dino. I'll get on it. And so I left in search of the obsidian golem, who was potentially behind the golem disappearances. From day 9 to day 10, I traveled north, braving the harsh conditions of the Badlands, knowing how important my mission was. But why would the obsidian golem go after his own kind like that? It doesn't make sense. As a budding superhero, I know that nobody commits a crime without having some kind of motive. But while I was mulling over the mystery I'd been sent to solve, the obsidian golem got the jump on me, literally jumping out right in front of me.
I knew someone was following me. You think because I'm a golem, I'm dumb? Big mistake, bucko. And unless you have a good explanation, it'll be your last.
Look, I'm sorry that I was looking for you, but it was for a good cause. I'm hunting the person who's making golems disappear.
Like I'd buy that. I think either you're the culprit or you're working for him. And I'm not taking any chances on my life here. Let's go, creep.
There was no more reasoning with him after that. The obsidian golem attacked me full force, and there was nothing I could do to talk him down. I just fought back as best as I could until he was finally defeated. But in the process, I was almost completely destroyed. Wow, Dino wasn't kidding about golems being powerful. Luckily for me, a friendly mungus happened to be passing by. He walked over to me, seeming concerned.
You okay there, son? You're not looking so hot, aside from the lava, of course.
Yeah, I just got beaten up by a huge, powerful obsidian golem, so you're right, I'm not doing too well.
Lucky for you, I've got a spare health potion. Here, take it. You look like you need it more than me.
He gave me a health potion, which I quickly drank, delighted to have my health restored. You're a lifesaver, literally. Say, do you have any idea what kind of golem might be able to destroy other golems? I'm hunting a dangerous criminal.
A golem that destroys golems, huh? That's a tall order. There'd need to be an extremely tough golem to do that, not to mention incredibly crafty. An obsidian golem is probably too low level to pull off that kind of evil scheme.
An extremely tough golem. Interesting. This'll give me something to look into. From day 11 to day 12, I returned to Dino the Diamond Golem's awesome pad with less than awesome news. I met Among Us out in the Badlands, Dino, and he seemed to think that the obsidian golem didn't have anything to do with all the disappearances. It'd need to be a much stronger golem than him.
Huh, who you gonna trust when it comes to golems, little man? Some random mungus? Or me, an actual golem? Believe me, nobody knows this situation better than Dino.
That makes sense, I guess. What do you think I should do now then?
There's a sandstone golem in the Amaranth Fields. I've got a good reason to believe he's involved in all this. You don't need to investigate him, just take him out. Understood?
Understood. I'm sorry for ever doubting you, Dino.
Yeah, man, you better be.
Now knowing how tough golems were, I knew that I needed better weapons to take them on. That's when I found a mining cave and searched deep inside until I found some iron ore. This is exactly what I need. I mined the iron ore and set to building a furnace in that deep, dark cave. I then used the furnace to smelt the iron ore into iron ingots, which I then turned into an awesome iron sword and an iron pickaxe. Now I've really got an edge. I left the cave only to find an angry grizzly bear outside waiting for me. So this is your cave, huh? When the bear tried to attack me, I unleashed some web blast and then defeated it with my iron sword. First a grizzly bear, next a grizzly golem. From day 13 to day 15, I traveled across the Amaranth Fields in the glistening nightlight, searching for the sandstone golem so I could carry out my mission. I finally spotted the golem, standing at a campfire and warming himself. It was strange. He didn't look aggressive at all, but I trusted Dino. I carefully approached, my sword drawn, preparing to fire a web blast at him and then charge in for an attack. But before I could, he turned and saw me standing there.
Hey there, friend. You look a little chilly for a lava Spider-Man. Want to come and warm yourself by my fire?
Are you sure?
Of course. There's room enough for everyone around here.
I approached carefully and stood next to the sandstone golem, even though Dino had told me not to. We talked for a while, shared some jokes, and strangely, he seemed like a nice guy. I just couldn't believe he'd been behind all the golem disappearances. Something was up, something fishy. I left the sandstone golem safely by his campfire and went back to talk to Dino. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. From day 16 to day 19, I went straight back to Dino's pad to confront him about all the strange things I'd been noticing lately. He wasn't pleased.
What? Why didn't you take out the sandstone golem? Why? Don't you trust me?
It's not that I don't trust you, it's just everything you've said to me, it doesn't quite add up.
Here's what doesn't add up, kid. You and me. If you don't trust me, as in you don't follow every single one of my orders to the letter without question, I can't work with you. Get out of here and never come back. I'll solve the golem disappearances myself.
With that, I left Dino's pad, knowing I'd probably never see him again. I returned to my base, only to see, to my surprise, that the cartographer was waiting for me there again. Oh, hey, cartographer, what's up?
No time for small talk. I've discovered something important. The one behind the golem disappearances. It's a diamond golem.
What?
It makes total sense. That's one of the toughest kinds of golems out there. Only he would be strong enough to easily take out other golems.
Oh no! Dino was behind it all along! He used me. I need to warn Sandstone. I ran back to the Sandstone Golem's camp in the Amaranth Fields, but it was already too late. Sandstone was gone, and only Dino remained.
You're too late, Zozo, my man. I just finished up what you should have done. Sandstone's finished.
You monster! You used me! You've been betraying and destroying your own kind, but why?
Simple. A diamond golem is pretty special, but you know what's even more special? Being the only golem. And I like the sound of that.
So you're just destroying all the other golems to satisfy your own ego?
Yeah, pretty much. Why? You gonna stop me?
I'm absolutely gonna stop you! I'm Zozo, the Lava Spider-Man! I'm this world's superhero, and your evil, selfish plan ends here! But it didn't end there, because Dino the Diamond Golem ran up to me and knocked me out cold with a single punch! From day 20 to day 22, I came to at the campsite. Dino wasn't there anymore, but the camp wasn't empty. A TNT Golem was standing right above me. Oh no, you don't work for Dino, do you?
Goodness no, I'm Splodo, the TNT Golem. I was here to warn my friend Sandstone about the evil plans of Dino the Diamond Golem, but it seems I was too late.
I'm so sorry I couldn't save your friend, Splodo. I should have seen Dino for what he was earlier, but I was so blinded by how cool he seemed. I let him boss me around. But never again. We'll work together to take him down. Splodo returned to my base with me, and I built a new house for him to sleep in while we worked on our shared plan to take down Dino before he could destroy all the golems.
I believe in you, Zozo. Together, we're gonna bring this evildoer down.
Yeah, we'll be superheroes together. From day 23 to day 26, I traveled back to the Black Forest. It sure feels different being back here after learning so much. I was a lava spider boy back then. Now, I'm a lava Spider-Man.
Help! I need somebody! Help! Not just anybody! I need a hero!
Hey, that's me! Wait, I know that voice! I followed the sound of the voice and saw the cartographer being attacked by a guster! Get away from him! I fired a web blast at the guster, destroying it!
Thank you. That was a pretty close one. I'm glad you showed up.
Me too. I want to make up for letting Dino trick me, and that means I need to help as many good guys as I can. Being a superhero isn't just about beating the villain, it's about helping the people who need it. From day 27 to day 31, I continued exploring the Black Forest. As I did, I spotted a herd of sheep that looked really lost. Turned out, I was right. They had lost their old home and were trying to find a new, safe place to stay. So I escorted them back to my base. I guess you guys will need a place to stay. No point in inviting you over and then making you just stand around. That would be rude. So I built a pen for the sheep. It wasn't anything fancy, but they seemed pretty happy with it. After I was done building that, I decided to check in on the rest of the base. While I was gone, Splodo the TNT Golem added a chest area and made paths while I was building. Awesome, so much extra storage, just what every superhero needs. Meanwhile, Dino the Diamond Golem was at his base in the Badlands, and he was up to no good.
If I'm gonna get rid of all the rest of the golems, I'll need some extra muscle. That's where you come in. Think you're up to the task?
Bada bing, bada boom.
I'm gonna go ahead and guess that means yes, boss.
From day 32 to day 35, I hatched a new plan. I need to go back and talk to those Endermen and explain what I know. I think we're actually all on the same side. I just hope they'll listen to me. I traveled back to their base in the Black Forest, where I spotted one of the Endermen standing out front. Hi there, funny story, I was wrong about some stuff.
You! Bold move coming here, little lava Spider-Man. You're in big trouble.
Wait, we don't have to fight. We're on the same side, I promise.
Do you think I'm a fool? Why would I believe you?
You can take me to your boss. I'll come willingly this time. I just want to talk to him.
Interesting. Very well.
He took me to an evoker. Hello, my name is Zozo.
I know who you are. You're an acquaintance of Dino the Diamond Golem, yes?
I was, but I was wrong. He tricked me. I'm so sorry. I want to help.
I can tell that you have a good and honest heart. The heart of a hero. Very well, young Zozo. There is very little we know for certain at this point, but we do know that the golem disappearances plaguing this land can all be traced back to Dino. I will provide you with more information when I have it, as long as you promise to do the same.
It's a deal. From day 36 to day 39, I traveled back to my base. Those guys were actually pretty nice. I can't believe I was so scared of them before, but now we can work together. But if I'm going to be much help, I'll need some better equipment. To the mines! I headed down into the cave and started mining. I found some iron ore, which I smelted into iron ingots. I used it to craft a set of iron armor. I returned to my base shortly after, only to find a toolsmith waiting for me.
Excuse me, are you Zozo?
Sure am.
I brought you something.
He handed me a diamond. Oh, wow, thank you. What did I do to deserve this?
I just thought maybe you could use it. Also, I need your help. Come with me. We have a friend in common who needs to speak with you.
From day 40 to day 43, I followed the toolsmith and was surprised to see the evoker. Hey again, what's going on? I just saw you.
Indeed, but I have received some new information that I needed to deliver in person as soon as possible. You see, Dino is…
But before he could finish what he was saying, a pillager showed up.
Bada bing, bada boom. You dead meat, Zozo.
Uh-oh, that's me he's talking about. He was way bigger and stronger than me. I'm not sure if I can defeat this guy. Both myself and the evoker ran off in separate directions and met up later, coincidentally.
Go, Zozo, run! I will do my best to handle him. I will meet you in a safe place when the coast is clear.
You got it! I ran out of there as fast as I could. From day 44 to day 49, I made it back to my base without the pillager following me. I just hope the evoker got out of there okay.
I certainly did, young Zozo.
The evoker emerged, somehow, completely unharmed. You're here, you're alive. Oh, I'm so glad. I was scared the pillager would hurt you.
He certainly gave it his best try, but I managed to elude him. I didn't get this far by being an easy target, you know. I may not be much of a fighter, but I know how to survive.
Me too, so far at least.
I've learned of something that I believe will help you with your continued survival, and with our shared goal of stopping Dino from continuing to wreak havoc.
Oh, sweet. Tell me about it.
There is a special weapon, a destroyer, capable of breaking apart diamonds with very little effort. I imagine it would give you the edge you need against Dino when you finally confront him.
Sounds perfect. Where is it?
That's the trouble. Its location is a secret. I have heard that there may be useful information in the Badlands, however, I suggest you travel there and see what you can turn up.
I'll head there now. From day 50 to day 53, I traveled to the Badlands in search of information on the Destroyer. They call this place the Badlands for a reason. It's terrible. I hope I find something quickly and don't have to stay here for too long. Thankfully, my wish came true. I spotted a book on the ground, and when I picked it up, I noticed the title, The Destroyer and You. Wow, this is super convenient. Okay, it says that the Destroyer is a special weapon, one that's hundreds of years old. It was created to overthrow a corrupt diamond golem who tried to become the king of the land. Hey, that's kind of like what Dino's doing, I think. But where is it? When I flipped to the end of the book, the last page was missing. Oh no, I bet that was the part of the book with the Destroyer's location. Guess I'll have to come up with another plan. Back to the spider base. From day 54 to day 57, I was on my way back to my base when the pillager jumped into view, blocking my path. Hey, I'm walking here.
Well, hey, I'm blocking here. You thought you got away, huh? Well, tough toenails, kid. No one gets away from Petey the Pillager.
If you won't let me pass, I guess we'll just have to fight about it.
Give it a shot, Pipsqueak.
I attacked the pillager, but he didn't even budge. Uh-oh, he's still way too strong. I need to get out of here before this gets serious. I fled the scene and got out of there as fast as I could. Meanwhile, at Dino's hideout, he was feeling triumphant.
Another one bites the dust. Soon, I'll be the only golem around. No one's gonna be as special as me. All these other golems better watch their backs.
From day 58 to day 62, I ran back to my base. When I got there, I saw that my friends there had built an additional storage room for us to keep weapons in. Hey, with all this space, I should make some new weapons to keep in here. To the mines! I headed down into the cave to see what I could find. Turns out, luck was on my side because what I found was some diamonds. I've heard of fighting fire with fire. Maybe I should try fighting diamonds with more diamonds. I gathered the diamonds and used them to craft a diamond sword, a diamond pickaxe, and a diamond chestplate. From day 63 to day 66, Splodo came to speak with me.
Zozo, I was able to find out the location of that destroyer you're looking for. Apparently, it's in the Brimstone Caverns. Quick, come with me, I'll show you.
I followed Splodo to the Brimstone Caverns. Phew, it smells like rotten eggs in here.
Yep, that's all the brimstone. Anyway, here's the place.
Uh-oh, looks like we can't get in. I think we need some kind of key.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Zozo. I'll help you look for a key. We'll get in there.
Thanks, Splodo. You're the bomb. Get it?
Yeah, I get it.
From day 67 to day 70, Splodo and I walked back to my base. When I got there, the evoker was waiting for me. Hey, maybe I should go ahead and build you a guest room.
No thank you, Zozo. This is not a social call, I'm afraid. I'm here to ask you for your help. A magma golem is tearing apart the Amaranth fields, and I fear that he will burn them all down in a fit of rage. Please, help me reason with him before his fiery temper destroys everything.
I'll do my best. I looked around, following the smell of burning grass, and sure enough, I spotted a magma golem stomping around. He looked really angry. Hey, I can see you're upset about something, but you don't have to do this. Please stop before someone gets hurt.
You! I know you! You're working with him, that awful diamond golem who killed Sandstone. I have nothing to say to you, with my mouth at least. We can talk with my fists.
Your fist can talk? Oh, no, you mean you're gonna fight me? Wait! He wouldn't listen! He attacked me, and I had to fight back! My diamond chestplate protected me from taking too much damage, and I managed to knock him back long enough to talk again. I don't work with Dino anymore! I realized what kind of guy he really was. Now I'm trying to stop him from hurting any more golems, I swear!
You're not just lying to save your skin?
No, from a lava guy to a magma guy, I promise I'm telling the truth.
Then I've got an idea. Let's you and me work together and show that diamond-studded jerk he's not as special as he thinks he is.
From day 71 to day 74, I showed the magma golem back to my base. He told me that he had lost his home while trying to run from Dino, and he didn't have anywhere else to go. Luckily, we had plenty of room. You can stay here for as long as you want. It'll be fun. But I couldn't stick around for the housewarming. The pillager turned up, ready to cause some trouble.
Still gonna be fun when I crash your party, little man?
Oh no, the pillager!
That's right. Hey, nice place you got here. Would be a shame if something happened to it.
With that, he started attacking my base and smashing it up. I drew my diamond sword and attacked the pillager, but he was still stronger than me.
Nice try, Pipsqueak, but no dice. I'm gonna take something of yours to teach you a lesson.
Before I could stop him, he ran away.
Zozo, help!
That was Splodo's voice. I ran in to help, but the pillager and Splodo were already gone. I couldn't stop him from taking Splodo. What kind of hero am I? I couldn't take it anymore, and I went to my room to lie down. A little while later, the magma golem came to my room.
Zozo, I built some additional defenses while you were resting. We have a new perimeter wall around the base to protect against any future invaders.
Thank you. That makes me feel a little bit better. Now I just need to find a way to get Splodo back. Meanwhile, in the Badlands.
Now that the pillager has taken that TNT golem that I couldn't get to before, I'm one step closer. That loser Zozo is never gonna beat me.
From day 75 to day 78, I was busy trying to come up with a plan to rescue Splodo. I'm not ready to fight the pillager yet. I'm going to need something to give me an edge. A new weapon or another ability, something. And as if on cue, the evoker appeared.
Zozo, I heard what happened to your explosive little friend. I believe this may help you. The pillager is vulnerable to explosive attacks and has very sensitive eyes. Its flashy ammunition should both damage and distract him.
He handed me a firework crossbow. Oh, this is awesome. Do you know where I can find the pillager?
I know many things, Zozo, and yes, that is one of them. He lives just outside of Dino's lair in the Badlands.
Thank you! I took my new crossbow and set off to find the pillager and get my friend back. From day 79 to day 84, I traveled to the Badlands. It didn't take long for me to spot the pillager lurking around outside of Dino's base. Give me back my friend.
Nah, I don't feel like it.
Maybe this will change your mind. I fired my firework crossbow and it actually managed to hit. Hey, maybe I can actually do this. And so the battle with the pillager began. I felt much more confident with my new weapon, but he was still much stronger than me.
Ready to give up?
No, this is merely a tactical retreat. I ran away until I found a big rock to hide behind, where I met, against all odds, Splodo the TNT golem.
Zozo, I escaped, and on my way out, I managed to grab this. Quick, eat it!
He tossed me a golden apple. I ate it in one big bite, and I felt myself growing stronger. My heart increased to 60, and I gained a jump boost. I grew too. That golden apple gave me the strength I needed to finally defeat the pillager. I ran back, fighting the pillager one-on-one until nothing was left. Dino's strongest henchman had been defeated, and Splodo came over to celebrate with me. I did it! Thank you, Splodo. You're a real hero.
So are you. Come on, let's go home.
From day 85 to day 89, Splodo and I returned to the base.
Guess what?
Chicken butt?
No, that's really funny though. I grabbed something that the pillager dropped when you beat him. It's a magic key. I think it's the key to the Brimstone Caverns. You can finally go and get the destroyer.
That's amazing. You've helped so much. Thank you, Splodo.
You can thank me by getting rid of Dino once and for all.
With the magic key in hand, I traveled back to the Brimstone Caverns. I held my breath as I unlocked the door and entered the caverns. There, I saw it, the destroyer. Yes, finally! I started walking toward it, but a wither skeleton jumped in the way. Oh, no you don't. It attacked me, but I fought back. It took a little while, but I managed to defeat it. A destroyer, yes! I've got to get this back to my base. From day 90 to day 94, I left the Brimstone Caverns, ready to head back to my base. But as I exited the caverns, Dino, the diamond golem, appeared in behind me.
Hey Zozo, how's it going?
What? Aren't you here to attack me?
Nah, why would I do that? We used to work together pretty well, you and me. What do you say we team up again? Give it another shot.
Are you kidding? You lied to me. You kidnapped my friend. You're trying to hurt tons of people. Why would I ever work with you?
Because when I'm the big boss around here, you're gonna want to be on my good side.
I don't think you have a good side. With great power comes a lot of responsibility, and you've misused it at every turn. Thanks, but no thanks.
Fine, have it your way.
Before I could stop him, he pushed me into a deep hole and snatched the destroyer out of my hands. He left me there and took the weapon with him. From day 95 to day 97, I used my new climbing skills to escape Dino's trap. But by the time I got out, he was long gone, and so was the destroyer. I need some advice. I should go visit the evoker and see what he thinks I should do. I traveled to the Black Forest to see if the evoker had any tips for me. But when I got there, the place was in chaos. The evoker was there, but he was badly injured. Oh no, what happened?
Dino came through on a rampage. He must have learned that I told you about the destroyer. I don't have much time, little lava Spider-Man. Listen close. You must get the destroyer back. It holds a great power, and it will give you the strength you need to defeat him. The weapon itself is not what matters, but the strength within you that it will bring to the surface. The power is within you.
And just like that, he was gone. Thank you for everything. I promise to get revenge on Dino for everything he's done. On day 98, I returned to my base to get some rest and come up with the next phase of my plan. But when I got there, it was a mess. The perimeter wall was destroyed, and I couldn't see my friends anywhere. Oh no, Dino must have done this.
He did.
Splodo, you're okay.
I am. I managed to hide from him. Everyone else ran away. I don't blame them. It was scary. But don't get discouraged, Zozo. We're going to be superheroes together. Remember?
I'm not so sure, Splodo. He's so much more powerful than us. How can we ever hope to beat him?
Listen, I know it seems hopeless, but we have to try. I'm still here. It's not over yet. He came after our base. Now we need to take the fight to him.
On day 99, I traveled to the Badlands to confront the baddest guy in those lands once and for all. I don't know if I'll make it through this, but I know I have to try. Splodo was right. I can't lose hope now. When I got there, he was waiting for me.
Hey, Zozo! Welcome to my humble abode. Ready to lose another fight?
Nope. I attacked him, but he hit hard. I took a lot of damage, but I got an idea. I got my firework crossbow and fired a shot. It surprised Dino, and he jumped back. When he did, he dropped the destroyer. Now's my chance. I grabbed the destroyer and took off in the opposite direction of Dino's base.
Yeah, you better run.
I'll be back. I took the destroyer back to my base and remembered what the evoker said. The power is in me. I just have to find it. I used the destroyer, and as I did, I had a vision of every fight I'd had so far, every friend I'd made along the way. I felt so much stronger. When the vision ended, I saw that my base was magically repaired, as if Dino had never destroyed it. That's it. I'm ready. On day 100, I returned to Dino the Diamond Golem's base for the final showdown. This time, I had the destroyer, and more importantly, the heart of a hero. My heart, I mean.
You're too late, Zozo. Pretty soon there won't be any golems left. You think you're special? You're not special. I'm the only one who's special.
That's not true. You think you're better than everyone else, and that's why you'll never really win. I used the destroyer to attack, and for the first time, I did some real damage to Dino.
Hey, what's the big idea?
Justice, that's what. It was a tough fight. Dino was the strongest opponent I had ever faced, but I knew I could beat him. And after a hard battle, I finally did! I can't wait to go home and tell Splodo. We did it! We beat the bad guy! We're real superheroes after all. On day 1, I spawned in as an ice spider, an arachnid as cold as the Arctic reaches. All 8 of my legs are here, but why am I so little? I'm only a baby spider! That's when I realized that I was trapped inside of a magic circle. An evil-looking necromancer stood on the outside, casting a terrible spell.
A spider of ice, it will suffice. So says me, Necromancer Bryce.
Light swirled all around me, and the entire world shook. But when it stopped, I felt like I was able to move. Great! I better get out of here while I can. I tried to scurry away, but Bryce the necromancer blocked my path.
Not so fast there, Ice Spider. Your part to play is done, so now I'll destroy you and complete the spell.
Hey, I have a name, you know. It's Zozo, and I don't like it when people say they're going to destroy me.
Oh, it's nothing personal. That magic spell I just cast is going to destroy the entire world 100 days from now.
What? The entire world? You do realize that doesn't make it better, right?
But it does make it destroyed. The ritual also says that I should sacrifice the ice spider used in the spell for best results.
Well, it's not going to be this ice spider. I'm leaving, and while I'm at it, I'm gonna find a way to counteract your spell. I bolted for it as fast as my 8 legs could carry. Instead of chasing after me, the necromancer Bryce just laughed wickedly to himself.
Easier said than done, my arachnid friend. The world's destruction is close at hand.
On day 2, I managed to get far enough away from the necromancer Bryce that I could take it easy. I looked around in wonder at the glowing ancient forest around me. I also noticed that I had 10 hearts and that my hunger gauge was lowering fast. It looks like running for my life from a destruction-happy evil necromancer really works up an appetite. I searched around until I found a tree that had apples in it for me to take. Then I ate the apples until my hunger meter was full again. Surviving all alone in this world as a baby spider isn't so bad. I'm really getting the hang of it. I wasn't alone for long though, as I saw a couple of skeleton vanguards appear out from between the trees.
There you are, Ice Spider. We shall get rid of you for our master, the necromancer Bryce.
He must really want to sacrifice me if he's sending skeletons to do his bidding. I tried to fend off the skeleton vanguards, but my spider bites didn't have much of an effect on creatures made of bone.
Give up, Spider. The world is doomed, and your sacrifice will seal its fate.
The mobs kept attacking, bringing me down to my last few hearts. I thought I was doomed. But then, an energy blast distracted the skeleton vanguards and made them run away. Out of nowhere, an illusioner appeared. I realized immediately that they must have been the one who cast the spell.
Follow me, little ice spider. I'll take you to my camp. We'll be safer there.
You saved my life, so I guess I can trust you. On day 3, the illusioner took me to his campsite and cast a protective illusion barrier around both of us so that the mobs wouldn't find us. You're pretty good at casting spells, illusioner.
Please, call me Alan. Illusioner Alan.
Okay, Alan, you're pretty good at casting spells.
Thank you for saying that, but unfortunately, there are mages far more powerful than me in the world, and some of them are using their gifts for evil.
You mean like Necromancer Bryce? Is it true that his spell will end the world?
Not if we good mages have anything to say about it.
Soon after, another mage arrived at the campfire. This one was a wind caller with the power to, well, call wind.
I'm Wind Caller Windy. I'm here to see the ice spider.
That's me. I'm Ice Spider Zozo.
Oh, the winds are truly blowing in our favor. You, my amicable arachnid, may be the key to saving the entire world from destruction. Necromancer Bryce's ritual can be stopped by a more powerful spell as long as he doesn't sacrifice an ice spider.
So as long as I'm alive, there's a chance that you mages will be able to stop him.
We'll need your help too. You can battle his henchmen and travel to places which would be too dangerous for us.
You can count on me. I might still be a baby spider, but I won't let the entire world down. From day 4 to day 5, I began to make use of the trees around me to gather wood for a wooden pickaxe. Because my starting area was a forest, it didn't take long to have enough to craft the tool. But wood wouldn't be good for long if I could do better. I mined into the ground with my wooden pickaxe for some stone and quickly upgraded to a stone pickaxe. With the new and improved stone tool, I was able to gather even more stone to use for building and crafting. First, I made a stone sword to defend myself with. Next, I started building a strong shelter where I could stay safe from Necromancer Bryce and his undead minions. Illusioner Alan had chosen to come with me. His illusion spells would help keep me safe while I built the base. Thanks for all your help so far, Alan.
Remember, Zozo, do not rely on magic. It cannot keep every mob away.
I soon understood what he meant when a skeleton appeared and interrupted my building. Good thing I crafted that stone sword. I drew my weapon and brought down the skeleton with a cup of wax. My victory against the skeleton made me stronger and more experienced, and because of that, I grew out of my baby mode into a regular-sized ice spider with 30 hearts. I can shoot ice blasts now. That is more like it. From day 6 to day 8, I was out exploring in the nearby gravelly mountains when I saw a friendly gorilla being attacked by a slime ball.
Get away from me, you slime ball!
The slime ball didn't answer. It just bounced and got slime everywhere. You may be slimy, but this ice spider isn't so helpless anymore. I hit the slime ball with my stone sword over and over. It did a good amount of damage, but I was taking damage the longer I stayed in contact with the slime ball. I retreated back to a safe distance and shot the slime ball with an ice blast. It froze the mob solid, so I was able to get in a few more hits with my stone sword while it was immobilized. I repeated this 2 or 3 times with more ice blasts until the slime ball was defeated. Once the battle was over, the gorilla cheered and ran up to greet me.
Brr, I was cold just watching that, but I'm glad you're on my side.
Of course. I, Ice Spider Zozo, am all about saving others.
You're definitely the nicest ice mob I've met. Say, do you think you could talk to the other one I know and tell him to stop trying to freeze me?
Sure thing. I'll let him know that's not nice.
He's just over here in another part of the mountains.
From day 9 to day 10, the gorilla showed me to the lair of the icy creeper, a powerful ice mob that seemed to like to cause trouble. Gorilla seemed worried for me. That's how I knew icy creeper would be trouble.
Are you sure you could talk him out of being mean, Zozo?
I can certainly try. I left Gorilla behind and approached the icy creeper. His attention was on me immediately, but he didn't speak. It looked like I would need to talk first. Hey, I'm Ice Spider Zozo. I heard you've been trying to freeze the gorilla and they'd like you to stop.
Well, that's very nice, but I'm not gonna. I'll freeze anyone I want.
That's so rude. What did the gorilla ever do to you?
Nothing, but this is a cold world, and I'm one cold, tough customer. If that gorilla doesn't like it, he can go to another mountain.
Don't make me fight you, icy creeper.
I'd like to see you try.
I fired my ice blast at the icy creeper, but it seemed like he was even colder than me because it barely did any damage. His own ice blast took off a bunch of my hearts. In a battle between ice creatures, I was definitely the loser for now. I ran back to the gorilla, sad that I couldn't defeat the icy creeper. I promised Gorilla that I'd let him stay in my base for now and come back to the gravelly mountains to defeat icy creeper at a later time. From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my base and began renovating the living space so that the gorilla had a place to live. I used a lot of stone bricks so it wouldn't be too different from the mountain he had left behind. Once I had built the room, I went to see the gorilla and showed him where he could stay.
Thanks for letting me stay here, Zozo. I thought you could use some more storage space, so I did a bit of building on my own.
It turned out that the gorilla really had built a room that was perfect for storing extra items. He also built a furnace that would heat up the room where he and the mages would be staying. Oh yeah, I guess you guys need to stay warm. Either way, that's very impressive work.
I call it the home away from home. Oh, I hope I get to see the mountains again before the world ends.
It's not going to end. I'll stop it.
I hope so. That necromancer Bryce has been plotting world destruction for a long time, actually. He's tried all sorts of spells to do it, and they've never worked. This one might, though, and the idea of that is really scary.
It did sound scary, and I wasted no time getting better materials to help defend myself in case Bryce showed up. Down in the mining area of the base, I went digging for some iron to upgrade my tools. I found some iron ore, which I smelted into iron ingots, then crafted into an iron pickaxe and an iron sword. Back on the surface, I tamed some sheep from the nearby glowing ancient forest and built a farm for them. If that furnace fails, there's always wool sweaters. From day 13 to day 15, I sought out Illusioner Alan for some more advice on how to complete Necromancer Bryce's challenge. I want to save the world as soon as I can, Alan. Is the spell ready yet?
If only magic were that simple, Zozo. The truth is that Bryce's destruction spell is linked to you now. The only way to weaken it is for you to become stronger.
How do I do that?
When you defeated Bryce's skeleton henchman before, some of the spell's magic transferred into you. If you could defeat a more powerful one, it could happen again.
I went back to the gravelly mountains in the hopes of finding another undead mob to fight. Come and get me! I don't fear you, skeletons! As if answering my call to battle, a skeleton vanguard came charging across the mountain terrain towards me.
Spider of Ice! Spider of Ice! The time has come for sacrifice!
I hit the advancing skeleton vanguard with an ice blast, which slowed the undead down. I was able to hit him with another before he got into melee range. Time to get a taste of my new weapon. At that point, I brought out my iron sword and slashed the skeleton vanguard with some powerful hits. The skeleton vanguard crumbled and dropped a health potion to boot. This potion must contain some more of Bryce's magic. I drank the potion and felt my power increase dramatically. My number of hearts doubled and became 60. And I gained the magical ability to turn invisible like see-through ice. From day 16 to day 19, I continued my exploration into a brand new part of the world that I'd never seen before, the Great Lake Isles. As I crawled around this breathtaking new biome, I came across an abandoned book that contained information about the destruction spell that Necromancer Bryce had cast. A spell of destruction cast by a necromancer must be confirmed with the sacrifice of an ice spider. For this reason, an ice spider that survives the casting of the spell can prevent the destruction of the world by being at the center of a spell of life, which is made to protect the world. I wasn't sure exactly what that meant, but it sounded like there was a way to turn the tide of destruction. I excitedly began to leave the Great Lake Isles when some more skeleton vanguards ambushed me to try and get me to be sacrificed.
Spider of Ice! Spider of Ice! The time has come for
Yeah, sacrifice. You creeps must have followed me from the mountains. I used my iron sword, and I pelted the mobs with ice blasts until they were all destroyed. From day 20 to day 22, I realized that my powers were far stronger now that I had grown into a bigger ice spider. I tested my metal against some specters in the glowing ancient forest, chopping them down with my iron sword. They weren't that difficult to defeat, but the fact that they were here meant that bad omens were on the horizon. Dead becoming more common could be a sign of world destruction being on its way. I did some more mining for iron in the base cavern and grabbed enough ore to make the ingots for an iron chestplate. Now that I'm this much stronger, I bet I could stand up to the icy creeper. I returned to the icy creeper's lair in the gravelly mountains to confront the mob with my new abilities and gear.
Have you learned how cold the world is yet, Zozo?
No, I have learned that the world has good people in it that don't deserve to be frozen or destroyed. I fired my icy blast at the icy creeper, and this time, I was the one dealing damage. I had become a colder, more powerful being. Never freeze the gorilla or anyone else ever again.
All right, Zozo, I give. I'll be nice.
The icy creeper ran away, never to be mean again and never to be seen again. Upon driving away from that other ice mob, I saw a flashback to Bryce as a younger necromancer, just learning his first spells.
The world is a cold and cruel place. I know. I'll destroy it so nobody has to live in a cold, cruel world.
Guess he was similar to the icy creeper in a couple of ways. If only he knew that the world wasn't as cold and cruel as he thought it was. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to the base, feeling victorious. I made a beeline for the gorilla to give him the good news. I taught that icy creeper a lesson he won't forget anytime soon. I promise you that you won't be having any trouble with him now.
Wow, you are one heroic ice spider, Zozo. I'm really checking my prejudices right now. Also, I made you a gift. In case you didn't notice it on the way in, I made a perimeter wall to defend the base.
Somehow, I totally had missed the perimeter wall. It was awesome and would do a great job at repelling the roving hordes of the undead. The base is well defended. Maybe now it's time to make sure my body is better defended. I went back to the mining cavern and collected up some more iron ore that I then took back to my base and smelted into iron ingots. I used these to make the rest of my armor set. You may not be able to see the armor on me, but believe me, it's there. From day 27 to day 31, I returned to the Great Lake Isles, wanting to make sure that I'd wiped out the Skeleton Vanguard Scourge completely. The more territory I can take back from the Necromancer Bryce, the less power and resources he has to complete his dark ritual. And it seems like my earlier work had paid off, because I couldn't see a Skeleton Vanguard anywhere. Instead, what I found was a large and smart-looking golem.
Hello there, good sir. Say, I've heard quite a bit about a certain ice spider lately. Your name wouldn't happen to be Zozo, would it?
That depends. What would you do if I was Zozo?
I'd congratulate you. I'm the librarian Golem. I travel across the overworld, giving books to those who need them. And the skeleton vanguards working for that blasted necromancer had gotten in the way of my very important mission for far too long. If you are Zozo, then you are responsible for many needy people getting the books they so crave.
Well, in that case, I am Zozo. Why don't you come back to my base with me? You seem like you'd be a valuable ally.
Of course, as long as there's a place where I can read.
I returned to my base with the librarian golem and constructed a new room for him to sleep in. After completing it, I realized how dull and drab the base looked. It needed a personal touch. I harvested some wool from my sheep farm and turned them into a bunch of cool banners that I hung up around the different buildings of my base. Looking snazzy! But my joy was short-lived as Illusioner Alan ran in with frantic news.
Zozo, you need to come with me immediately. Windcaller Wendy is under attack.
From day 32 to day 35, Illusioner Alan and I ran as fast as we could to reach the campfire in the glowing ancient forest where the Windcaller liked to hang out. But by the time we arrived, it was already too late. A vicious gang of skeleton vanguards had already outnumbered and destroyed him. No!
We serve our master well. Everyone who attempts to defend you will be destroyed, Zozo. Nobody will stand in the way of your sacrifice. We will destroy this entire world.
Not if I have anything to say about it! Powered by pure rage, I went in there with all my weapons and powers and wiped out every single one of the skeleton vanguards. In the end, all that was left was myself and Illusioner Alan.
This is bad, Zozo. The Windcaller was a powerful mage and an asset to our operation. Now that she is gone, the danger grows significantly.
But we can't give up, Alan. If we give up, then nobody will stop Necromancer Bryce. We need to fight back against him with everything we have. From day 36 to day 39, I went out to the Gravelly Mountains to wander around and collect my thoughts. I was afraid about everything that had happened, but I couldn't show it in front of everyone who was working for me. Necromancer Bryce and his men are way more dangerous than I thought. My thoughts were interrupted when I ran into an incredibly strange creature, a melon golem, which I didn't even know was a thing.
What? You never see a melon golem before? You don't like melons or something?
No, I love melons. I've just never seen a melon golem before. I'm sorry if I've upset you. If you have a favor you need doing, I'd be happy to see to it and give you a hand.
Well, now that you mention it, there was an obsidian golem who was giving me some real trouble. Would you mind taking care of him before he hurts me or anyone else?
Of course, I'll get right to it. I turned on my invisibility powers and used it to search through the Gravelly Mountains until I discovered the obsidian golem. I used the element of surprise and approached him from behind, attacking him with everything I had. In the end, I managed to defeat him after a tough battle. Then I returned to the melon golem and told him that his bully was gone.
Hey, that's great news! I used to be able to trust the other golems, but a lot of them defected to the Necromancer Bryce, because most of them are hardy enough to survive the cold.
So some golems are working with the Necromancer now? That's not good news.
You point out the obvious a lot, you know.
From day 40 to day 43, I returned back to my base, pleasantly surprised by some improvements that Illusioner Alan had made to the base.
Zozo, I've made very good friends with the librarian golem. He's a wonderful chap, and we've been doing lots of discussions around the arcane arts. So I installed a sizable collection of bookshelves and couches so he can really enjoy himself here.
It's incredibly wholesome that you two have become such good friends.
And he's not the only friend I'd like to stay here. I improved the base by adding a barracks, so I could invite more of my Illusioner friends. The more mages we have at the base, the easier it will be to defend you from the Necromancer.
That sounds like a good idea to me, Alan. Not long after, a small group of other Illusioners arrived, and I greeted them and escorted them to their rooms. Not long after, the librarian golem approached me with a new quest.
Zozo! As you may have heard on the grapevine, or perhaps the melon vine, some golems defected from the overworld and joined up with that dastardly necromancer. Two in particular are the Endstone Golem and the Netherite Golem out in the Great Lake Isles. Perhaps, if you're able to defeat him, it will weaken the necromancer's power in another territory.
That's an awesome idea, Librarian Golem. I'll set off immediately. From day 44 to day 49, I set off into the Great Lake Isles to find one of the evil golems that had been working for Necromancer Bryce. I want to reduce the power of the Necromancer's spell in whatever way that I can. I thought I saw the glow of magic from one of the islands and made a stealthy approach. To my surprise, it wasn't an Endstone Golem at all, but Necromancer Bryce himself. He was muttering something, so I got closer to hear what it was.
This pathetic world does not deserve mercy. It only deserves cold destruction, and my spell will be that destruction. Soon, the hastening will be upon us.
Couldn't let him stand there and say such terrible things. Take that back, you dastardly necromancer!
Oh, it's you. You're the ice spider that dares to defy me. It seems my undead have thus far been unable to sacrifice you.
Why do you need to sacrifice me so badly anyway? What's in it for you if the entire world is destroyed?
Destroying the entire world is a thankless job, but somebody has to do it. Anyway, I've got a brand new caliber of minion now. Prepare to meet my netherite golem.
The Necromancer Bryce vanished into a cloud of magical smoke, and in his place, a netherite golem rose to its full towering height.
Greetings. I am the Netherite Golem, and I will be sacrificing today.
The other golems told me that baddies like you were bad news. Put up your big netherite dukes, and let's have a good clean fight, said the spider to the golem. I ice blasted my opponent and scurried around, avoiding his attacks. I used my invisibility to sneak in close and attack with my iron sword. The netherite golem was very strong, and he managed to hit me a couple times, dealing many hearts of damage. But I had hearts to spare now, and this fight was far from over. From day 50 to day 53, we briefly stopped to talk.
You're going to be sacrificed, Ice Spider. I'm going to crack you like ice, and then squash you like a spider.
Oh yeah? Well, you're a netherite golem, and never mind, I can't think of anything. I fired off a couple of ice blasts, then I used my iron sword to hit the netherite golem. With one more ice blast, I froze the netherite golem and brought the fight to a close with a sword strike. Netherite golem dispersed, leaving behind some mystical diamonds, which were stronger than any material I had gathered thus far. I better hang on to these so I can make a powerful tool out of these diamonds later. With the Netherite golem defeated, I felt some of Necromancer Bryce's magic leaving the Great Lake Isles. From day 54 to day 57, I found the other evil golem that had chosen to serve Necromancer Bryce, the Endstone Golem, the exact golem that the library golem had sent me out to fight. This mean Endstone fighting machine was just as tough as the Netherite golem I had fought before, so I knew I had to use similar strategies to take it down. Ice Spider Zozo, Golem Slayer! My invisibility proved to be a great way of avoiding attacks, and a mixture of Ice Blast and Iron Sword attacks sealed the deal! Both of the golem defectors have been defeated now. I can feel the Great Lake Isles are peaceful now. I returned to my base in the glowing ancient forest so that I could tell the tale of my victory to the library golem.
Well done, Ice Spider Zozo. Without his golems, Necromancer Bryce has lost a major facet of his evil forces. The destruction of the entire world is that much closer to being avoided.
I'm just doing my part to stop the spell.
In anticipation of your return, I did some research into the original spellbooks that contain the destruction spell. It says that the ice spider needed for the spell must come from the Ice Spikes biome. Have you ever been there before, Zozo?
Not that I can recall, but if it's my homeland, maybe I can learn something more about the spell by going there someday. From day 58 to day 62, I used the mystical diamonds that had been dropped by the Netherite golem to make myself a diamond sword. Once crafted, the librarian gave me a Frostwalker enchantment book to enchant my new diamond sword with frost. What a neat enchantment, and very fitting for an ice spider. I guess magic comes naturally to me. Because of my new sword, I was inspired to seek out more diamonds down in the mine. Using my iron pickaxe, I dredged up a few more diamonds and made myself a diamond pickaxe. I decided that was enough mining for now, and I came back to see that the living area looked much nicer, and there was even a brand new fireplace. Illusioner Alan was standing by the fireplace, feeling its warmth. It looks amazing here. Is this an illusion?
I'm always telling you, Zozo, magic can't do everything. These changes to the base are 100% real.
Wow, thanks, Alan.
Building this base was such a great idea. I really like living here, so I'm glad I could make it better for everyone.
From day 63 to day 66, I was doing some more diamond mining when the gorilla who lives in my base came to visit me.
Hey, Zozo, the librarian golem told me that you're originally from the Ice Spikes. I actually know how to get there.
You do? Well, that's great. I've been meaning to take a trip out there at some point.
I'll give you the directions. Maybe you'll find out if you've got any family out there.
Following the gorilla's directions, I made my way to the ice spikes. I didn't see any ice spiders, but maybe I would meet a friendly face if I looked around. But the first face I saw didn't appear to be that friendly. It was a mountaineer with a wicked gleam in his eyes. I'm warning you, buddy. You don't want to mess with this ice spider. I have the home field advantage.
I don't want to fight you. This gleam in my eye is the gleam of adventure. I'm Mountaineer Monty, and I'm looking to climb the tallest peak in the Ice Spikes.
The tallest peak? I bet I could see everything from up there. Count me in.
Perfect! With an ice spider helping me up, I'll be able to get to the top of the tallest peak in no time.
From day 67 to day 70, I joined Mountaineer Monty, and we both climbed around on the ice spikes together, searching for the tallest peak. How will we know if the ice spike that we're climbing is the tallest or not, Monty?
We won't know until we get to the top. Keep on crawling on these walls, Ice Spider.
We went higher and higher until we found a ledge on the side of an even taller peak. Could this be the one? That's when a leap leaf jumped down from the upper ledges and started to attack. I fired an ice blast at the mob, but it dodged away. This leap leaf was faster than I expected, so I'd have to outsmart it. I turned invisible and waited for the leap leaf to land on the ground. I dashed in and hit it with my diamond sword, dealing a bunch of damage. The moment it jumped, I fired an ice blast directly at it, defeating it for good. Mountaineer Monty was impressed with my win.
That was great! And also leap leaves only live on the tallest peak, so we must be there.
Let's keep on climbing so we can find out. Within a few minutes, we had risen to the top of the entire Ice Spikes biome. This was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen in all my days as an ice spider.
Thank you for being here with me.
Down below, I saw what looked like the lair of a necromancer, a wicked and terrible base. Necromancer Bryce must be here in the Ice Spikes. Did he find me here? From day 71 to day 74, I descended the peak of the tallest mountain and began to travel through the ice spikes in the direction of the evil lair. I never expected my history with Bryce would go back so far. I need to find out why his lair is here, what happened to the other ice spiders, and of course, how I can save the world from destruction. And if you want to help me save the world, remember to search ZOZO to find more of my adventures. Make sure to tell me what you want me to play as next. Down at the base of the mountain, I wandered through a snowy blizzard, only to be confronted by Necromancer Bryce.
You've returned home, Ice Spider Zozo, but it's not your home anymore. It's my home, and soon there will be nobody home in the entire world.
Your destruction spell will never work, Bryce. Not as long as I survive without being sacrificed. I drew my sword and turned invisible, waiting for an opportunity to strike. Necromancer Bryce only laughed. He was not threatened by me at all.
Foolish Zozo! You don't understand what it means that I am here in the ice spikes. It means that I've already sacrificed another ice spider. My spell is secure.
I froze in place, not from the cold, but from the shock of what Bryce had said. No, you already sacrificed an ice spider, you evil monster! Bryce turned toward the spell and blasted me with a powerful spell that took off almost all of my heart. He was about to fire off another, so I ran away as fast as I could. From day 75 to day 78, I scurried back to the base and immediately shut myself away in the coldest room of the base. I had failed. The whole point of going to the ice spikes was to learn more about my origin. But now, I had learned something that made me feel completely hopeless. The entire world really was going to be destroyed, and there was nothing I could do to stop it.
Never say never, Zozo.
It was the librarian golem. They had come to visit me in my time of regret. But all of the other ice spiders are gone. Necromancer Bryce sacrificed them.
I don't think that's exactly what has happened, Zozo. Bryce was trying to catch you off guard so he could sacrifice you. He still needs you for his place, and when he comes for you, we'll be ready.
The librarian golem showed me a watchtower that had been installed on the base. It would be an ideal countermeasure to any intruding undead sent by Bryce. Thanks, library golem. And you're right, the world isn't doomed yet. Later on, I consulted Illusioner Alan to see what magical spells he had been working on during my travels.
Zozo, I have used all of my magic to create this Kaithar. It is a weapon that will make you unstoppable in battle.
Thank you. That's exactly what I need. The moment I took the Kaithar, I felt a great surge of power within me. I grew into the ultimate ice spider, the true king of the ice spikes. I had 100 hearts and the ability to warp short distances, combining that ability with my invisibility to really catch enemies off guard. From day 79 to day 84, I made my way back to the ice spikes, trusting that the transformation brought on by Illusioner Alan's spell would give me the ultimate power, and that the library golem wasn't wrong about there being more to learn about my past. In my mighty ice spider form, nothing in the ice spikes could rival my strength. Some specters tried to swoop down and challenge me, but I effortlessly destroyed them with my ice blasts. I traveled some more through the cold biome of the ice spikes, eventually finding an Icologer native to this region. Hello there, Icologer.
Please, call me Icologer Ike. It's quite nice to meet a spider of ice. There used to be a lot more of you protecting the ice spikes.
So I've heard. That was before the necromancer sacrificed them.
Oh, there was no sacrifice. Your ancestors fought against him bravely, down to the last spider. I kept one of their helmets too. You should have it.
Ike gave me a diamond helmet, which I proudly equipped. I guess there really was more to the story than I thought. From day 85 to day 89, my base was attacked by the skeleton vanguard. I arrived just in time to fend them off with weapons and ice blasts.
Spider of ice, the time has come for sacrifice.
Ha! That confirms it! You still need a sacrifice, and I'm the last spider standing. You'll never take me out. With the confidence I had developed in my ultimate ice spider form, I demolished the skeleton vanguard one by one, until the last of them went running back to the ice spikes.
Spider of ice, your sacrifice will now be done by Necromancer Bryce.
I'd like to see him try. I chased the skeleton vanguard to the edge of my base, where he kept running onward. It was there that I met a fungus thrower, who was standing next to a dugout pool of water.
Oh, please, Ice Spider Zozo. My swimming pool is way too warm. Can you provide an ice blast to cool it off?
Why, certainly, my fungus-throwing friend. I shot the pool with an ice blast, freezing it over. Oops, sorry, now it's more of an ice rink.
No, I like this better. I'll call my friends and we'll play some hockey.
From day 90 to day 94, I followed the skeleton vanguard through the ice spikes all the way to the necropolis where Necromancer Bryce would be waiting for me.
Bryce, we need your advice.
As the skeleton vanguard approached the necropolis, it was obliterated by an attack from an armored pillager.
Never send a skeleton to do my job.
And what is your job?
Killing spiders by the dozen. Me and the rest of my pillager crew fought the ice spiders in this area back when they dared to defy Necromancer Bryce.
You mean that it was you who wiped out all the rest of the ice spiders, and you're working for Bryce? I'm going to freeze on you! I fired several ice blasts, but the armored pillager tanked them all and hit me with the same powerful attack they'd used to destroy the skeleton vanguard. It dealt a decent amount of damage, so I warped away to avoid taking more.
I faced many ice spiders just as big as you.
But you've never faced me! Gathering my courage, I warped back and swung my diamond sword into the armored pillager, returning the damage I took and then some. From day 95 to day 97, the armored pillager still wouldn't let up, and I was starting to see that his claims of taking down all the other ice spiders wasn't all talk. My ice blasts weren't very effective, so I mostly relied on my sword strikes to deal damage. My warp and invisibility powers helped me dodge most of the armored pillager's attacks so that I could hold onto my hearts.
Why can't you let me crush you like those other worthless ice spiders?
It's time you learned that those lives you trampled were never worthless. I warped all around the armored pillager and barraged him with sword attacks until he collapsed at long last.
Darn it, you have beaten me. Truth is, you spiders fought very well. I was the only survivor among the pillagers.
If you lost everyone too, why are you being such a mean guy about it? We could have talked this out.
Necromancer Bryce was going to destroy the world anyway. We thought we had to listen to him, or he'd destroy us first. That Bryce is ruthless beyond anything you've seen. After he hired us pillagers to wipe out the spiders, he had them save one remaining ice spider egg so that he could use the ice spider that hatched for his destruction spell. That ice spider must have been you.
The armored pillager died, leaving behind a key to the lair. At that moment, I realized I had avenged my people. Well, almost. Bryce stole me away, planned to use me for his spell, and destroy the world I've only now come to know. I will stop him! On day 98, I returned to the base to heal my injuries from the battle with the armored pillager. So much had happened since I started my journey, and we were only a couple days from the day that the destruction spell would end the world. But the words that carried me all this way still rang in my ears. As long as I survive, it isn't over. I spoke to the librarian Golem, who was also hopeful about our chances of stopping the destruction spell.
No sacrifice was made, and if you defeat Bryce, he'll never be able to cast another destruction spell. This could be your chance to save the entire world.
I will do it, for the world and for all the ice spiders that fought bravely against him. I wanted to make sure the powers of my magically induced final form were stable, so I went to Illusioner Alan to confirm. Your magical Kyther seems to be working, Alan.
Oh, Zozo, what have I always said? Magic can't do everything. You took that form on your own. My great illusion was convincing you that my weapon was the reason.
Wow, I didn't expect that. You truly are a skilled illusioner, Alan. But I didn't leave the base without any new gear. The gorilla made sure I had full diamond armor for the battle with Necromancer Bryce.
You're a hero, Ice Spider Zozo. I really wish I could have met more ice spiders.
As long as there's a world, there's a way. I'll make sure the world is safe after I stop Bryce.
Go get that evil creep. Remember the path I showed you through the Gravelly Mountains.
On day 99, I was traveling through the Gravelly Mountains toward the ice spikes on my way to the showdown with Necromancer Bryce. I was intercepted by a whole bunch of skeleton vanguards who seemed really eager to sacrifice me as always. Bryce really rolled out the welcome mat early, huh?
Spider of ice, must we say it thrice? It has to be time for your sacrifice.
Even though my strength, my hearts, my gear, and my magic all surpassed theirs, the skeleton vanguards descended on me in great numbers. They're slowing me down. I won't be able to reach Bryce by the day of destruction. I had to retreat as quickly as I could. That's when I ran into the Mountaineer, and he wanted to fight those nasty skeletons for me so I could take down the big boss who started it all.
Go on now, Ice Spider. We climbed the tallest peak together. Now face your greatest challenge with pride.
On day 100, I used the key to the lair and entered the inner sanctum of Necromancer Bryce.
The day of destruction is at hand, and here you are, allowing yourself to be sacrificed.
There will be no sacrifice and no destruction. We traded a series of blasts, his necromancy blast and my ice blast. We each took a bit of damage, then I turned invisible. You crushed my people, but I'm taking back the ice spikes and the entire world from your evil.
You would fight to protect a world that took away your family?
The world didn't do that, Necromancer Bryce. That was you! I reappeared and attacked his blind spot with my diamond sword. He began charging up his most powerful spell yet. It was the same spell he almost defeated me with the last time we fought. Necromancer Bryce let the spell of doom fly at me. I waited until the very last second, then I used my warp ability to move out of the way and appear right behind him. You missed me, and now it's over for you. I swung my diamond sword repeatedly with all my might, destroying the necromancer before he could destroy anything else. This world would live on, and so would I.
On day 1, I spawned into the Stony Peaks as an awesome elemental spider! 10 hearts. That isn't too bad. Still, I could probably afford to be a lot stronger. I started to crawl around on my 8 elemental legs. It was in the middle of the night, with the moon shining up above. I couldn't help but feel like something spooky was about to happen. And then, in the cold of the moonlight, a huge, scary werewolf jumped out.
Ooh, hello there, little one. You look lost. Come with me. I can help you find your way.
My, Mr. Werewolf, what big teeth you have.
Yes, little spider. All the better to eat you with.
He came charging towards me, and in a panic, I used one of my inherent spider powers, putting down as many cobwebs as I could. Lucky for me, the web slowed the werewolf down, buying me some time.
That's a dirty trick. Come back here.
No way! I ran away as fast as I could, crawling through the Stony Peaks and trying to escape. But during my daring escape, I was ambushed by some vicious worgons.
Not so fast, Spider. We want to play.
But I didn't want to play, so I did all I could to escape and find a place to hide for the night. I waited for hours for morning to come, but it never did. The night just went on and on. Something's really wrong here. On day 2, or at least after time for a whole day had passed, I noticed that the eternal night had continued, and a big bright moon still hung up in the sky. This is so weird. Why isn't it ever daytime around here? It just doesn't make sense. But I couldn't afford to sit around and hide. My elemental spider stomach was grumbling. I started skittering around and searching for something to eat, until I happened upon an apple tree full of rich, juicy apples. Ooh, don't mind if I do. I climbed the tree to get the apples, ate them, and then gathered some wood to make a wooden pickaxe. I mined some stone with it and used that stone to make a stone pickaxe and stone sword. If I'm gonna be trapped in a nightmarish eternal night, I might as well at least have a roof over my head. I mined enough stone from the Stony Peaks to start building myself a basic little spider nest. 1 room, a bed, and a few lanterns to offset the scary darkness. Yet ever so spooky, there's no place like home. And while I was admiring my work, I got interrupted by another worgen running in to attack me.
Tasty spider. I'll eat you alive.
Eat this instead. I lashed out with my sword, striking brave and true until the worgen was defeated. In that moment, I knew that I could stand up for myself. On day 3, I left my base in the Stony Peaks to hang around the Sunflower Plains. It was still in the middle of the deep, dark night. Maybe I can find some interesting materials for my gear or my base around here. Instead, I felt a sudden cold gust of air blowing across the plains. A terrifying presence had entered the space. I looked up and saw a big, frightening Solnir galloping towards me.
You should not be here, little spider. This is a dark and terrible place. If you're not careful, you could get hurt.
I knew he wasn't warning me, he was threatening me, and he looked way too tough for me to take him on, so all I could do was run. I fled across the plains as fast as I could, with the Solnir hot on my heels. He was catching up to me. All I could do was use my special move, dropping more cobwebs to slow him down.
You can't keep running forever, Zozo. I'll get you eventually.
I was able to get out of there while the Solnir was trapped. I felt bad about running away. I need to stick to my guns and stand up for myself, or I'm never gonna solve this problem.
Out of my way, fool!
I looked down and saw a strange little creature standing at my feet. Who are you?
Who am I? I'm the Onion Queen, you knave, and you will bow before me. My castle was destroyed in a Worgen attack, and now I need to seek out a new castle.
Well, Your Highness, why not come and stay at my base? I'd appreciate the company.
This is agreeable, but only if my room is extremely elegant.
From day 4 to day 5, I returned to my base in the Stony Peaks with Her Highness, the Onion Queen.
This place is a horrible dump, Zozo. Not at all befitting of my regal nature, but it will have to do.
Thanks for compromising for me, Your Highness, I guess. I set to work mining more stone until soon I'd excavated enough to make a new room where the Onion Queen could stay. I did my best to make it an elegant royal suite, but my resources were pretty limited at this stage.
I won't lie to you, Zozo. It's utterly hideous. But it will have to do. Thank you for the effort you put in.
I left the base again to mine some more stone, but while I was out there, I was attacked by another gang of Worgens. You guys just won't give up, will you? It's nighttime all the time out here. Don't you Worgens ever sleep? They didn't reply. Instead, they ran in and attacked me, and I fought them back with my stone sword. When I'd finally defeated the nasty little gang, I noticed that one of them had dropped an interesting piece of loot. Wait, is that a battle axe? Don't they freeze any mobs I hit for 10 seconds? That'd be super useful later. From day 6 to day 8, I was back in the Stony Peaks looking for a decent mining cavern where I could upgrade all my weapons and tools. Some iron would change everything, but it's so hard to hunt some down when it's so dark all the time.
Can't find your iron, eh? How about I help you out with an iron fist?
I turned with terror and saw the giant werewolf standing right in front of me. He somehow looked even bigger and scarier now.
You nasty little trickster. I bet you thought you were real smart using that trick with the spider webs. But with these new weapons, I won't even need to run to get you.
That's when I noticed that the werewolf was carrying a stack of javelins. If he was good with them, I was in real trouble. Let's just talk, wolf to spider. I want some answers, werewolf. Can't you tell me why it's so dark all the time? Did you do this?
I don't owe you any answers. All I owe you is a javelin to the face. Get running, Spider-Man.
I started running away as the werewolf chased, throwing his javelins at me as I tried to flee. I managed to dodge most of them, but when one of them hit me, I lost most of my hearts. Oh no, oh no, 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 no! I knew if I took another javelin, I'd be doomed. I needed to make a plan, quickly. Wait, I've got it! I used my cobweb power again, building a wall of them. It wouldn't keep him back for long, but it might at least block some of his javelins. I've never been happier to be a web slinger. With the little time that bought me, I'd managed to escape the wrath of the werewolf yet again. From day 9 to day 10, I was resting in my base, still recovering from that stressful attack by the werewolf. Boy, when the sun doesn't come out, it feels like there's no motivation to get up and get going. But I didn't just get to laze around all day. Instead, the Onion Queen suddenly burst into my room.
Zozo, get up this instant! Your queen demands it! You're never going to get anything done if you can't even get out of bed!
Sorry, Your Majesty. I didn't mean to upset you.
I've taken the liberty of improving your base to make it live up to my own royal standards. Go check outside. I've begun work on constructing a great statue to inspire you into action for my honor.
I went outside and saw that the Onion Queen had been true to her word. She'd started building an amazing statue for me, but I couldn't tell what it was just yet. What about you? What do you guys think? Do you know what the Onion Queen's statue is gonna be? Let me know down in the comments. The Onion Queen wasn't done. She'd also made several other base upgrades. A training room where I could work hard and get stronger, and even a furnace to smelt metal ores and diamonds with a storage room where we could keep all of our supplies. You've outdone yourself with all this, Your Majesty.
What can I say? I've always had a knack for architecture. It runs in the royal bloodline.
From day 11 to day 12, I was laying in bed in a state of uneasy sleep. The fact that night and day were no longer different made it really difficult to decide when I should go to bed. While I was sleeping, I dreamed of daylight on the Stony Peaks. I dreamed of the bright sun up in the air. And strangely, I dreamed of a lone villager walking through the peaks. The villager wasn't strong, and nobody took him seriously. What most people didn't know was that he had a powerful secret. Every full moon, he'd turn into a powerful werewolf. A werewolf that everyone fears and respects. But the problem was that the villager could only access this power under the full moon. He wanted to be a werewolf all the time, so he sought out an ancient and powerful spellbook. With the spellbook, he ushered in an eternal night and an eternal full moon. That way, he could always be the werewolf and always be the most powerful person out there. I woke up in a cold, elemental spider sweat. I knew everything now, and I knew that if I wanted the sun to rise again, I needed to defeat the werewolf once and for all. From day 13 to day 15, now knowing what I needed to do, I realized that I needed to get stronger if I wanted to defeat the werewolf and return sunlight to the overworld. If I'm going to be strong, I need to not be afraid. I need to take on even the most challenging enemies. That's why I returned to the Sunflower Plains that the sun hadn't touched in a long time to take on the Solnir.
So, you return to me, little spider. Are you ready to leave this cold, dark world?
No, Solnir, I'm just getting started. Come at me! And he did. The Solnir galloped in, but he didn't know that I had my battle axe ready. With one strike, he was frozen in place, and I pulled out my stone sword to finish him off. With the Solnir destroyed, I had enough XP to level up and get stronger. I had 30 hearts, and my first elemental power, Ice Blast! This is awesome! This new power will catch that evil werewolf by surprise. From day 16 to day 19, with my new power and confidence, I knew that I needed to get myself some new equipment too. After all that searching around the stony peaks, I finally found a mining cavern that looked like it might have a rich vein of iron inside. Time to get mining. I descended into the mining cavern until I found the iron I was looking for. After hacking through the blocks with my stone pickaxe, I collected up the iron ore and started to leave. But on the way out, I was cornered by a big, scary hellhound. Nice doggy. Lucky for me, I had my new power. I blasted the hellhound with my ice blast, freezing it in place. I didn't want to hurt him, so I just snuck out as quickly as I could while he was still frozen. Not long after, I made it back to my base, where I used the furnace that the Onion Queen built me to smelt the iron into ingots, and made myself some new tools, an iron pickaxe and an iron sword. Nothing's gonna stop me now. From day 20 to day 22, I got another rude awakening from the Onion Queen. Okay, I'll get up. Just give me 5 more minutes, Your Majesty.
No time, Zozo! That ghastly werewolf! He's here, at the future Onion Queen Palace!
What? Oh no! With no time to waste, I skittered out of my room on my 8 elemental legs and met the terrifying werewolf standing right there!
You, little spider, are one of the biggest cowards I've ever met. Every time we battle, you use your little cobwebs to escape. So now, I've come to you. No way out. Are you ready to meet your doom, Spider Boy?
My name is Zozo, and this time I'm ready to take you on one-on-one. The battle began, using my iron sword and my battle axe against him. He was incredibly strong and equally fast, but I didn't give up. And when I hit him with an ice blast, he stopped dead.
What is this magic? You couldn't do that before.
Because I'm getting stronger, werewolf. And soon, I'll be so strong that you can't defeat me.
Don't count your elemental spider eggs before they hatch, Zozo. I will return.
With that, the werewolf ran off into the eternal night. And for the first time, I truly believed that I could defeat him once and for all. From day 23 to day 26, I was, once again, woken up after my intense battle by the Onion Queen.
How many times, Zozo?
Sorry. Fighting the werewolf was tiring work.
Well, you won't last very long as my royal protectorate if you get hit by one of his javelins, will you? Here, while you were sleeping, I made these.
The Onion Queen handed me a pair of Outback leggings.
These should make you more agile and allow you to dodge out of the path of oncoming projectiles. Plus, you need a uniform if you're going to represent my royal name out there.
These are a pretty good fit. Not sure they're my color, though.
You'd better wear them, Zozo. As royalty, I have demanded it, and that means what I say is now law.
Any more laws you want to decree, Your Highness?
Yes, actually. I hereby declare that everyone should search ZOZO to find more videos to watch.
I had no idea what any of that meant, but it sounded important, so I'd do it if I were you. From day 27 to day 31, the Onion Queen seemed pretty agitated about something, and not wanting to get on her bad side, I figured I should ask her. Everything going okay, Your Highness?
No, not at all. Everything is positively horrid.
Positively? Isn't that good?
No! Just look at my statue!
I took a look, and the Onion Queen had really been making a lot of progress with building her new monument. It looks okay to me.
Of course you'd think that. To the untrained eye, maybe. But there's no white concrete. How can I possibly have a statue celebrating my regality without any white concrete?
Okay. Well, what if I go and find some white concrete that you can use to add to the statue?
Well, it's about time you made yourself useful. Off you go. There should be some in the Twilight Valley.
So, off I went to search the Twilight Valley. It didn't take me long to find some white concrete, which made me wonder what all the fuss was about. Then, I noticed a gang of Worgans in my way. That explains that, I guess. I leapt into action and delivered a few battle axe attacks to freeze the Worgans in place, then shattered them to frozen pieces with my sword. With all of them defeated, I was able to retrieve plenty of white concrete and returned it to the Onion Queen to add to her vanity project. Statue.
This will do for now, but you'd better head back to the Twilight Valley to get more. Your queen demands it.
From day 32 to day 35, I did as the Onion Queen asked me, or rather, told me, and went off to find more white concrete in the Twilight Valley. I didn't come across much more though, just a few extra Worgans to take out for the XP. Suddenly, I heard a call for help from nearby.
Excuse me, I could use some help here if it's no trouble, that is.
Sure thing, at least you're polite about it. I'm Zozo, what do you need?
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm little Kato, and well, my friend hasn't come back for a while. I'm worried he might have been kidnapped.
That's awful. Don't worry, Kato. I'll do my best to track him down. You just point me towards where you last saw him. From day 36 to day 39, I followed little Kato's directions until I came across a mini base hidden in the Twilight Valley. I made my way through the main entrance without any problems. Sure enough, there was Kato's friend, being held inside a cage, although I hadn't expected him to be a tomato. Excuse me, are you Kato's friend?
Oh my, thank heavens! Did she send you?
She did, although she didn't mention you were…
Oh, I know! Imagine putting someone in a cage, it's barbaric! I'm Roland the Rogue Tomato. I'd ask your name, but we'll have to dispense with the pleasantries until you've got me out of here. Quickly, before he gets back, he's been threatening to chop me up and put me in a salad. It's ghastly.
Sure, I'll get on it. Who captured you anyway?
That'd be me. What do you think you're doing with my lunch?
I turned around to find myself face to face with a terrifying Reaver. He seemed pretty mad to find me trying to rescue Roland, so I acted fast. I used my webs to create a defensive barrier around the Rogue Tomato's cage, then got ready to fend off the deadly Reaver. From day 40 to day 43, I battled with the Reaver. It was way bigger than me and a tough opponent, but I had to do my best to save Roland and reunite him with Kato. The Reaver was vicious, but also found it hard to move inside the cramped space of the mini base, so I used that to my advantage. I webbed him to the spot. Then, as he was struggling to free himself, I used a well-timed ice blast to freeze him solid. With him trapped, I went in for the killing blow with my sword and defeated the Reaver! Yeah, I did it!
What a show! Good hustle there, mystery rescuer. Now, if you're not too tired, mind getting back to freeing me from this cage?
Okay, here you go. And just like that, Roland the Rogue Tomato was saved. Since it was still a dark and endless night outside, I figured the right thing to do was guide him back to where Kato was, just in case any other nasty mobs decided they fancied a tomato for a snack.
Thank you, Zozo. I dread to think what would have happened if you didn't come along.
No problem. You know, I take back what I said before. You guys are actually quite the pair of friends.
Here, Kato, why don't we give this charming elemental spider the rest of our white concrete? It's the least we can do to say thank you.
From day 44 to day 49, I left little Kato and Roland the Rogue Tomato to go off together and headed back from the Twilight Valley to my base back in the Stony Peaks. It had been a hard few days, at least it felt that way. Thanks to no daytime or nighttime, it was hard to tell exactly how long it had been, although it seemed to be long enough for the Onion Queen to have more complaints.
There you are! You've been off gallivanting for ages! You really expect me to finish the work on this statue by myself? It's manual labor, unbecoming of royalty. Don't you know it's illegal for me to work, since I'm the queen?
Is it illegal, or is it just illegal because you said it is?
Don't speak like that to me. That's almost treasonous. Did you at least find some more white concrete?
Oh, well, I kinda got sidetracked, but I did manage to get some.
Well, good. Here, you can use that, and the rest of mine to carry on working on the statue. I'm going to go lie down. Remember to make it look stoic, but also down to earth, like me.
I decided I'd work on the statue later. In the meantime, I went about building a perimeter wall to give my base some added defenses. I got the idea after seeing that Reaver's mini base. Plus, it'd come in handy in case the werewolf came back while I wasn't around.
I thought I told you to finish the statue.
That was a really quick nap, Your Highness.
I can't sleep for too long. I don't want to look like a disheveled commoner. Anyway, while you've been so preoccupied with less important things, I took it upon myself to work more on my resplendent statue.
Well, that's really something. I just hope no mobs spot it from a distance and decide to come pay us a visit.
Well, that's for you to handle. I'm queen. I shouldn't have to fight.
From day 50 to day 53, I was recuperating at my base when suddenly a javelin came flying towards me. Thanks to my Outback leggings, I was able to hop right out of the way without injury as it hurtled past and missed me. It was the werewolf who had thrown it. He had come back to the base, this time with an army of his vile worgans.
Did you think I was done with you? Oh no, now here comes the wolf to flush the spider out. Worgans, attack!
The worgans charged at the base, clambering their way over the perimeter wall. I launched a few ice blasts from inside, trying to freeze them as they got closer. The werewolf stormed the base and kidnapped the Onion Queen. I was still fighting off the worgans inside the base when the werewolf escaped with the Onion Queen. The one upside was I was fighting his minions off a lot easier now and cut through enough of them to level up. I now had a whopping 50 hearts. And even better, watching the worgans invade my base had helped teach me a new elemental spider ability. Now I could climb walls. From day 54 to day 57, I decided to work on repairing the base and fixing some of the damage left behind by those pesky worgans. Even I had to admit, the place felt too quiet without the Onion Queen. Sure, she was pretty bossy, but I suppose she couldn't help it. She was used to having servants and people to do whatever she wanted all the time. I knew that werewolf wouldn't harm her until he got me, so I still had time to mount a rescue. With the repairs all done, I decided to head back to the Twilight Valley and reach out to my other friends. Little Kato was happy to see me.
Oh, I'm real sorry about what happened at your base, Zozo.
Thanks, Kato. I don't suppose you saw what direction the werewolf took the Onion Queen in?
I would have gone back to the Zelkova Forest. That's where the werewolf's lair is. But you really don't look like you're ready to take on that nasty wolf just yet.
What do you think I should do next then?
Maybe go and make yourself some new equipment first. I mean, only if you want to. I know there's a cave near here with lots of shiny stones in it. Maybe start there.
Shiny stones? You mean diamonds? Now that sounds like a good idea. Thanks, Kato. From day 58 to day 62, I took little Kato's advice and headed off to mine for some diamonds. My trusty iron sword and pickaxe had served me well up until now. But if I was going to stand a chance at defeating the werewolf and restoring daylight and save the Onion Queen on top of that, then I'd need some much stronger gear. Venturing deeper into the mining cavern, I quickly spotted the glint of some shiny diamonds and wasted no time prying them out of the cave stone walls. Just as I gathered up my newfound diamonds, it seemed that something was stirring underground. A dangerous High Reaver appeared, and I climbed up a nearby wall just in time to dodge his attack. I leapt down from my vantage point and gave my old iron sword one last use to take down the High Reaver. Once that was done, I used my newly mined diamonds to make myself some shiny new gear. I had enough to forge a diamond sword and a matching pickaxe to make fighting and gathering resources much easier. I was a step closer to restoring daylight in the overworld. From day 63 to day 66, I made my way back to my base. Even though I had come a long way, I was still feeling uncertain. I knew that if what Kato had said was true, then I was still underprepared to face the werewolf again. In the endless nighttime he had created, he would be far more powerful, and it seemed no amount of new diamond weapons could change that. But as I returned home, I was greeted by the sight of the Onion Queen statue. It stood, unfinished, and part of me thought it would be right to finish it. But I changed my mind. No, she should be here to see it completed. Although she bossed me around, we were still friends, and I had to get her back. After all, I was meant to be her protector, right? So I readied myself for the next part of my quest, to find the werewolf's den, defeat him, save the Onion Queen, and finally bring an end to the night. And if you want to help me get there, then why don't you subscribe by clicking the button below? And make sure to leave a like on the video and comment to show your support. From day 67 to day 70, I headed towards the creepy Zelkova forest. If Kato was right, this was where I'd find the werewolf's hideout. My plan was to do what I had done when I went to rescue Roland, find some way to get inside and find where my friend the Onion Queen was being held. Then, if I could manage it, I would break her out and get her back to safety and worry about settling the score with the werewolf later. As I approached the fortress, a pretty nasty welcome party was patrolling the area nearby. Worgans! I blasted 3 with an ice blast, holding them in place while my new diamond sword took down the others in 1 hit each. Then, before the frozen Worgans had a chance to defrost, I slashed the blade their way and shattered them. I figured out quickly that there must have been so many of them here guarding a way into the werewolf's den. And sure enough, after I looked around, I found a button that opened up the entrance into a tunnel. This was my way in. From day 71 to day 74, I traveled through the long, dark hallway into the fortress. In fact, since there was torches on the wall, the dark down here wasn't so bad. It was actually easier to see my way around than outside in the endless night. I made my way into the werewolf's base and began searching around. I managed to stay hidden in the werewolf's den, mainly by climbing up the walls and avoiding the eyeline of the Worgans that were patrolling the fortress's corridors. However, in the first room I searched, I stumbled across a Solnir.
How did you get in, intruder?
I came in True Dirt Tunnel.
Just for that joke, I'm trampling you myself instead of bringing you to the werewolf.
Good luck doing that. Well, web to the floor. I used my webs and stuck them to the spot, then climbed up the wall, putting all my elemental spider skills on display. I leapt down, sword at the ready, and swiped at the Solnir. Like that, he was down. But then I realized what he was guarding in this room. In the far corner was an old chest, and once I pried it open, I found something that would give me even more of an edge. It was a full set of diamond armor. I quickly put it on to protect myself from oncoming damage. From day 75 to day 78, I continued to look around for the Onion Queen. After searching high and low, I eventually found where the Onion Queen was being held.
Zozo, I never thought I'd see you again. Please get me out of here. Compared to this awful cage, your base is a palace.
It's okay, Your Highness. That's why I came here.
You mean even after I've been so crude to you, you still came to rescue me?
Sure, that's what friends do.
Friends? What are those? Is that another word for servants?
I'll explain later. With a few swings of my sword, I broke the cage wide open, and the Onion Queen was free. She ran off, and before I could join her, a certain sinister someone jumped out in front of me.
Not so fast. You thought it would be that easy? I knew you'd come and get the queen. In fact, I was counting on it. Now you've saved me the trouble of bringing you here myself.
The werewolf! It was a trap! I leapt into battle and swiped at him with my sword, catching him by surprise with a flurry of attacks. He was still too tough for me to fully defeat, but I had to try. With a few more well-timed hits, I was able to weaken the wolf enough for me to flee and head back out through the tunnel to safety. From day 79 to day 84, although I was heading back to base, the werewolf wasn't taking our escape well.
That pesky elemental spider thinks he can scuttle into my home and steal from my larder. Not on my watch.
The werewolf went to find the book of spells he owned, the same one he had used as a villager to stop the sun from rising and keep the overworld trapped in endless nighttime.
Here's the incantation.
He began casting another magic spell. Outside in the sky, the glow of the moonlight got brighter. He grew into an even bigger, scarier werewolf than he was before.
Yes! With more moonlight, my strength will increase, and there won't be anything that Zozo can do to stop me. No elemental spider can stop the power of the moon!
From day 85 to day 89, I finally made it back to the Stony Peaks in one piece with the Onion Queen behind me.
I think I've nearly got it. So friends are other people who you... what do you do with them again?
You can talk to them, hang out and share interests. If you're in trouble and can't get yourself out, then you can call on a friend to help. Some friends even give each other gifts.
Are we friends, Zozo?
Sure, I mean, as long as you want to be.
I would like that. Here, have this. I was taught this spell when I took the throne, but I have no way to harness it. I'm not attuned with the elements, but you're an elemental spider.
The Onion Queen cast her magic my way and gave me a new upgrade, a fire aspect enchantment.
Just give me a moment, Zozo. I should go and do something.
After a little while, I figured out that the Onion Queen had wanted to finish her statue, and pretty soon she told me it was finished. But what I hadn't been expecting was for her to make it into a giant spider web. I felt really appreciated.
There's something you should know. When I was captured, the werewolf spoke of a book of spells he has, and how he can increase his power with the moonlight. If you get that book, you might be able to bring daylight back. But with the moon this bright, you need to be stronger.
Well, I've been trying my best. Maybe since he's using magic, I should use some of my own to stop him.
I agree. I think it's time for me to stop clinging to my royal title and do something that can actually change things for the better. I'm going to help you.
From day 90 to day 94, I set out toward the old mini-base in the Twilight Valley. The Onion Queen had sent me there to see if there was any magical supplies we could steal from the werewolf's minions. I ran into another group of worgans, and they went down after a short fight. I was really getting good at this, and with my new fire aspect enchantment, it was easier than ever to take these nasty critters down. Their boss would be another story, though. I searched around the mini-base and found another chest. Perfect! I wonder what's inside. I opened it up and was delighted to find a potion of power. This would be perfect to give me a boost of strength to help me take down the werewolf. I'd still need some more help in order to beat him. And that's when I remembered what I taught the Onion Queen. From day 95 to day 97, I went back to my base, and to my luck, the exact person I was hoping to see was right there waiting for me.
Zozo, you're back.
Hey there, Kato. How's Roland doing?
He's fine. Well, not exactly. He got it in his head that the werewolf wants to eat him.
Well, let's see what we can do about stopping that from happening.
I actually came here to give you a gift. It's not much, but I wanted to say thank you for saving my rogue tomato friend and trying your best against the werewolf.
Oh, you didn't have to get me a gift. Actually, where is it?
Oh, it's in my brain. I'm going to show you how to make netherite armor. It'll be strong enough that the werewolf will never bite through.
So, for the next few days, Kato and I worked on building my new armor. And sure enough, by the time we were done, I had the toughest, most pristine full set of netherite armor anyone had ever seen. On day 98, I was preparing myself for the final battle. This was it. After nearly a full 100 days of night, I was getting ready to face off against the werewolf for the third and final time. I had my potion of power ready to drink, and I was decked out in my sweet new netherite armor. There was only one thing left to do. Search for more videos by typing ZOZO and leave me a comment telling us what you want to see us survive 100 days in Minecraft next. Okay, 2 things left to do. I said farewell to my friends, leaving the Onion Queen and little Kato in the safety of my base as I set off to complete my quest. On day 99, I decided not to take the secret tunnel into the werewolf's den. I had gone that way last time, and no doubt he'd have that entrance guarded this time around. So instead, I snuck up to the outer walls and used my elemental spider ability of crawling to climb up the wall and find a way in through the top. Once I was inside, I decided it was time to get ready for the fight. I already had on my netherite armor for protection and my diamond sword to do some damage. But the werewolf had the power of being a wolf and the moon on his side. So I drank my potion of power and leveled up. The potion made me even stronger. I now had 100 hearts and the power to fire energy blast. Now this would be a fair fight. And not a moment too soon, because the werewolf came barreling down the halls of his fortress towards me.
I could smell you a mile off. You've been a thorn in my side for too long, Zozo. Now it's time to squash this itsy-bitsy elemental spider.
We clashed, and I used my sword to block the swings of his claws. He was ferocious, far more than he had been before. He might have spent too much time in the moon. Wait, is moonstroke a thing? You can get sunstroke if you're out in the sun for too long, so maybe?
Do you ever stop talking?
While the werewolf was agitated and distracted, I surprised him with a sudden energy blast. It sent him staggering backwards. I ran at him with my diamond sword drawn. We clashed swords again. He really was stronger, but so was I. I ducked out of the path of his claws and used all my tricks against him. I froze him to the spot, then swung my sword before he quickly broke free from the ice. I leapt out of the path of his javelins and climbed up the walls to get out of his reach when I needed a second to collect my thoughts. And then, leaping from above, I brought my sword swinging down through the air. Boom! I had done it! I defeated the werewolf! On day 100, I gathered up the spellbook from the werewolf's lair and made my way back to the base with a spring in my step. Both Little Kato and the Onion Queen cheered when they saw me making it back in one piece.
You did it, Zozo. I never doubted you for a second.
Thanks, Kato. I think you might know what to do with this spellbook.
No, the honor is all yours, Zozo. I'll be happy to once again feel the sunlight with friends by my side.
I flipped through the pages and found the right spell. And once I recited the magic words, the sky was filled with bright sunlight. Daytime had been restored, and the overworld was back to normal. All thanks to your friendly neighborhood elemental spider.